After the upgrade, Lin Feng's portable space turned turbulent again. The boundary expanded outward in one violent swell, and what used to be the edge became the new center. The space itself ballooned so much that the spiritual energy inside immediately felt thinner. It was simple math. The side length had increased by 400 meters, pushing the area to more than 6 times what it used to be. But the real change wasn't just the floor. The height had surged too, climbing to several kilometers. A larger volume meant the same amount of spiritual energy was now spread across a much bigger container, so of course it felt diluted. Lin Feng didn't waste time. He pulled out 1,000 spirit stones and crushed them all at once. In an instant, the space's spiritual energy surged back, thick and full. Bigger spaces meant bigger benefits. Even if the space stayed sealed, the air and aura inside could support him for a long time before being depleted. And with the expanded capacity, he could store and build far more than before. But time was tight. Lin Feng didn't start planning or constructing the newly expanded area yet. That could wait until after the war. He activated acceleration. Now the space ran at 30 times speed. 5 hours a day were free. 5 hours outside became 150 hours inside. Still, Lin Feng tested what it would cost to extend beyond the free limit. The moment he checked, he understood why most people couldn't afford it. First extra hour, 100 spirit stones. After that, the cost triples every hour. Triples. That meant 100 for the first hour, 300 for the second, 900 for the third, 1,800 for the fourth. By the 7th extra hour, it smashed past 10,000 spirit stones. And that hour referred to time outside, meaning the burn rate was terrifying. Even city lords who would hesitate to pay that kind of cost daily. Lin Feng made a practical choice. For the next 2 days, he would spend 400 spirit stones per day to add 2 extra hours. That made it 7 hours of acceleration daily. 7 hours outside, multiplied by 30, became 210 hours inside. Add the remaining 17 hours of normal time, and 1 real day would turn into nearly 9 days of usable time. So Lin Feng shut himself in and trained. His goal was clear: refine his sword intent. His other abilities were already climbing quickly. Gravity control and water element power had reached the 5th rank. Thunder element power had pushed further, stabilizing in the late 6th rank, still short of the 7th. Sword intent, though, could still be sharpened. He had already spent enough time seeing the sword intent hidden inside the broken sword. Now it was time to digest it properly and turn it into his own. "Brother, I'm coming." Across from him, Tao flicked a pedal with a playful motion. A blade of sword light burst from it and slammed forward. Lin Feng raised his sword and swung. His sword intent collided head-on with that sword light. His intent was fierce, but it still cracked under the impact. The sword light pushed through and only died when Lin Feng crushed it with a thunder strike. This sword light was something Tao Yao had copied from a supreme powerhouse. Its strength was slightly above Lin Feng's current level, but still within reach. More importantly, Tao could engrave it into petals, and Lin Feng could use the space's solidification talent to preserve that sword light for endless training. The broken sword was different. It could be used to comprehend, but not to attack normally. It belonged to an alien who had been beheaded by a supreme being. If Lin Feng triggered it, it pulled him into an illusion. That illusion could become a trump card later. Against a powerful enemy, the broken sword could force even a king-level evolver into a moment of mental collapse, giving Lin Feng a narrow opening to strike. But he didn't want to rely on it. Trigger it too many times outside the space, and the remaining sword intent inside would be consumed. And king-level evolvers had countless life-saving methods. Even City Lord Su, without using anything extra, had natural protective energy around him that ordinary attacks couldn't even scratch. If your strike wasn't sharp enough, trapping someone in an illusion didn't matter. You still couldn't break their defense. So Lin Feng kept repeating one truth: only your own strength is real. And so, using the petal sword light as a constant whetstone, Lin Feng tempered himself again and again. The effect was terrifyingly good. It was like a supreme powerhouse lowering their strength to spar with you, willingly, endlessly. Even if you became that person's direct disciple, you still might not get training like this. Hour after hour, Lin Feng's sword intent sharpened. Dozens of hours passed. Midway, he entered an epiphany. Tao immediately stopped attacking, left the petals behind, and returned to the peach tree. Her transformation time was still limited each day, but it had stretched longer than before. When Lin Feng woke, Tong held Taoyao's petals in her small paws and continued feeding him sword light for practice. After that, Lin Feng raised the difficulty. He told Tong to activate the small sword Ling Qingqiu had given him. That sword light was far stronger than Taoyao's current petal version. The pressure jumped instantly. Before, Lin Feng could trade blows. Now, he had to dodge every strike. He kept at it anyway, dodging, countering, enduring, adapting. Until the end of that acceleration cycle. Thunder cracked. The small sword released another sword light. This time Lin Feng didn't dodge. He stepped forward, raised his blade, and slashed out his own sword light. The two sword lights collided. The sword light he had been forced to avoid before turned dim, collapsed, and vanished completely. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Sword intent broke through. His sword intent had entered the mid-stage of transformation. And it wasn't just a level up. Through grinding and comprehension, he had turned everything he learned into something truly his. Even more. He used his own sword intent as the foundation and reverse-deduced his own sword technique. Most people walked the usual path, sword manual first, swordsmanship practice, then sword intent awakening later. Ling Qingqiu was like that. She learned thunder swordsmanship, then awakened thunder sword intent at 3rd rank. Lin Feng was the opposite. He raised sword intent first, then forged swordsmanship from it. Right now, his sword technique had only one form. One move. But that single move was terrifyingly sharp. Others wouldn't be able to copy it easily because no one else had experienced a supreme sword intent millions of times the way Lin Feng had. From the day he obtained the broken sword until now, he had entered that comprehension no less than 10 million times. Thousands of insights, stacked with space bonuses, built this breakthrough. And that one move, combined with his sword intent, could cut down any 7th-order opponent. Against an ordinary 8th-order evolver, it would at least pose a lethal threat. Whether it killed depended on timing and matchup. If the enemy was a huge target or forced into close range, blocking it would be extremely hard. But energy system evolvers were different. They wouldn't let you get close. By 7th rank, many could fly. By 8th, they could dominate the sky with speed and long-range attacks, kiting opponents to death. Lin Feng understood that too. Still, the move had been born. He gave it a name. First meeting. Not the name of the entire sword art, just the first form. And the meaning was cold and simple. First meeting. Last meeting. Tong and Xiao Shui were ecstatic, rubbing against Lin Feng in celebration. Lin Feng spent the remaining time consolidating, then rested when exhausted. Day 2, he activated acceleration again. This time he didn't focus on sword intent. That part was stable. Now he needed real combat testing and a stronger defensive kit. So he poured effort into thunder power and defensive methods, thinking through how to survive against energy system evolvers and their ranged dominance. Nearly 10 inside days passed in the level 3 space. When the acceleration ended, Lin Feng stepped out. Outside, City Lord Su was already waiting with Ling Qingqiu. Lu Ru was there too. The moment City Lord Su saw Lin Feng, his eyes brightened. In just 2 days, Lin Feng's presence felt sharper. Not louder, not flashier, just more dangerous, like his momentum had been refined. City Lord Su laughed warmly. Let's go, Lin Feng. Lu Ru came to see him off. I still have to sit in Sioux City, so I won't accompany you. Soon, Lin Feng boarded the flying boat. It lifted off, leaving Sioux City behind, flying northwest. On board were Lin Feng, other faction geniuses, and leaders from major forces. Ling Qingqiu was there too. Even though she'd lost qualification, City Lord Su wanted her to observe and learn. Below, Earth stars stretched green and endless, like it had turned into a boundless virgin forest. City Lord Su walked Lin Feng to the front of the boat and pointed west. From here onward, I don't know how many thousands of miles. This land should have been ours. The old east-west width had been over 5,000 kilometers. After Earthstar expanded, no one even knew the true scale anymore. And from Sioux City westward, it was alien territory. Space rifts. Treasures. Heaven and earth spirits. Things humans should have had. Now they could only watch. Lin Feng asked, "Are there still human regions elsewhere?" "Yes," City Lord Su said. "Some city clusters in the north, some in the south. The north is stronger, but the aliens they face are stronger too." Lin Feng nodded. So it wasn't just the eastern cities holding on alone. But there wasn't much connection between regions either. Networks barely covered a city, and crossing cities meant signal without internet. City Lord Su hesitated, then added, "As for the west, I don't know. The Evolutionary Alliance only reaches these 3 coastal regions. We survive because we're wedged between alien forces. Beyond that, nobody knows what's there." He patted Lin Feng's shoulder, almost like he was forcing optimism into his own voice. "Don't worry. It's already better than before. And now a genius like you has appeared again. Give it time. We might really push them back and take everything back." Lin Feng just murmured agreement, eyes still on the west. Half an hour later, they arrived at the Space Rift battlefield. The flying boat plunged in. An old voice greeted them the moment they entered the zone. "City Lord Su, you're finally here. Any later, and we were ready to start without you." Lin Feng looked out and saw strong figures hovering in the sky. All king level. City Lord Su led Lin Feng and the Sioux City geniuses off the boat and into a space. Inside were more than 1,000 of the earlier geniuses. And in the center were nearly 200 new candidates, gathered from several cities. A king-level evolver laughed and walked over. "City Lord Su, it's not that bad." City Lord Hai kept a hidden card. His daughter's bone age is only 24, and she's already early 6th rank. City Lord Su looked at City Lord Hai. "Old Yen, you weren't being kind." City Lord Hai stayed calm. "Kaney isn't strong among 6th rank. Without the bone age factor, she wasn't suitable before." City Lord Su didn't argue. It was true. Earlier, the selected 100 had almost all been peak 6th rank, with many 7th ranks. Early 6th was a clear gap. City Lord Hai continued, businesslike. "We've selected 100. More than 10 peak 5th. 40 late 5th. The rest early to mid 5th. What about your side?" City Lord Su smiled with confidence. "Sioux City has talent. We won't disappoint you." City Lord Hai nodded. "Good. Test bone age first." City Lord Su agreed. Even if he trusted Lu Ru, with so many king levels present, everyone had to be tested so the others would feel secure. So Lin Feng, along with the 20 or so candidates Sioux City brought, stepped up for bone age testing. All passed. Then it was Lin Feng's turn. An old man took charge, told Lin Feng not to resist, and pressed spiritual power into Lin Feng's wrist, like reading a pulse. The old man froze. "What?" Another king-level evolver noticed instantly. "What's wrong, Elder Chu?" Elder Chu stared at Lin Feng as if he'd seen a ghost. "Why is he so young?" "His bone age is under 20. City Lord Su, you didn't run out of candidates and grab a random kid just to fill the slot, did you?" "Under 20? Elder Chu's words made every king-level evolver nearby turn their eyes onto Lin Feng, including City Lord Hai. Not far away, the other genius evolutionaries also looked over. In an instant, Lin Feng became the center of attention. He already looked young, but king-level experts had seen too much to be fooled by appearances. Plenty of spirit fruits could preserve youth, and this whole group of geniuses looked young anyway. Until now, nobody had singled Lin Feng out. But the moment bone age was mentioned, his real age was exposed. This replacement batch was basically all 24 and up, most right at 25. Even if their faces looked youthful, their real time lived was already in the 20s. Lin Feng, though? Bone age under 20. No wonder people immediately suspected City Lord Su had dragged in a random kid just to fill the quota. City Lord Su laughed when he saw all the stares. "Elder Chu, how about we make a bet?" Elder Chu lifted his brow. "A bet on what?" City Lord Su pointed at Lin Feng. You think he's here to make up numbers, right? Fine. Then tell me what realm you think he's at. Elder Chu studied Lin Feng. With that age, his first instinct was 3rd or 4th rank. But the city lords had already agreed on one baseline when searching candidates. Anyone sent must at least be early 5th. So Elder Chu gave what he considered a generous estimate. Early 5th rank. At most mid-5th. City Lord Su didn't argue. He just looked around at the other kings. Anyone else want in? The stake is small. 20 intermediate spirit stones. If you lose, the stones go to Lin Feng. If I lose, I pay you. 20 intermediate spirit stones was 2,000 basic spirit stones. For ordinary evolutionaries, that was a fortune. For king levels, it wasn't pocket change, but it was still fun money, not something that would hurt. And Lin Feng being under 20 had sparked genuine curiosity. So one king level evolver laughed. I'm in. I also bet he won't exceed mid-5th. Another joined. Then another. Soon, a whole group of king-level evolvers were placing bets. Anyone hesitant got lightly provoked by City Lord Su until they joined, not in anger, but in that competitive prove-it mood. Only a few king levels stationed outside didn't participate. City Lord Su didn't call them over. This was already enough. Finally, City Lord Su turned to City Lord Hai. Old yen. One bet. City Lord Hai stayed silent for a second, then answered neatly. Fine. City Lord Su shot Lin Feng a look that basically said, watch this. Then he raised his voice. Lin Feng, this trip might earn you a little extra. Who's willing to be the target? I'll do it, Elder Chu said, stepping forward. City Lord Su nodded. Good. Lin Feng, use your thunder. Don't hold back. Elder Chu snorted. Come on. Lin Feng's gaze stayed calm. Elder Chu offended. Lightning crackled across his palm. The next second, a terrifying bolt slammed out and struck Elder Chu head-on. Elder Chu's protective energy flared and blocked it, but the impact still made the air shake. Silence. Even though only Elder Chu had been attacked, the expressions of the other king-level evolvers changed instantly. A king-level's eyes widened. 6th rank. At least late 6th. Murmurs exploded across the space. Then Elder Chu's cloudy eyes turned sharp, almost bright. Peak 6th. He took a deep breath, like he'd just swallowed shock itself. The geniuses inside the space instantly erupted too, including the 1,000+ geniuses from the original selection. Peak 6th rank wasn't rare on this battlefield. Earlier, the first batch had plenty of peak 6ths and even several 7th ranks. But those people had one huge advantage hidden under the rules: acceleration space-time. They were under 25, but many had effectively lived far longer than that. Lin Feng didn't have that buffer. His bone age was real. Under 20. In most people's minds, reaching 5th rank under 20 was already absurd. Peak 6? That wasn't just talent. That was terrifying. A king-level evolver flew closer. Elder Chu, did you measure right? Then he looked at Lin Feng, tone turning polite. Little brother, sorry. I want to test your bone age again. Lin Feng simply extended his hand. Sure. The king level placed his fingers on Lin Feng's wrist and sent energy in. A moment later, he pulled back, stunned. Still under 20. Now there was no doubt. 2 king level tests back to back. No room for argument. The space erupted with voices. Peak 6th at under 20. How did you cultivate? City Lord Su. Your Sioux City actually produced someone like this? If he stays alive, doesn't that mean he has a real shot at king rank before 30? Even City Lord Hai couldn't hide his surprise. Only City Lord Su looked like he was enjoying himself a little too much. The Sioux City geniuses were also shocked because City Lord Su had never told them Lin Feng's true age. For a moment, everyone was openly stunned. Then the betting started to cash out. City Lord Su, here. Spirit stones. I lost fair. But this little brother is insane. I'll add extra. I'll add 2. One after another, the king-level evolvers handed over their intermediate spirit stones. Most gave more than the agreed 20, 30, 40, even higher. City Lord Su collected them with a grin and passed them straight to Lin Feng. Take it all. Don't be polite. By the time everyone paid up, Lin Feng's intermediate spirit stone haul was pushing close to 1,000. Even for a genius evolver, that kind of single-shot gain was outrageous. City Lord Su turned and stared at City Lord Hai expectantly. City Lord Hai sighed, reached into his storage, and handed something over. City Lord Su's eyes lit up mid-reach. Because what City Lord Hai took out wasn't intermediate. It was a high-grade spirit stone. City Lord Su laughed loudly. Still old yen. You're the most refreshing. He handed it to Lin Feng with obvious satisfaction. Lin Feng, take it. This one is truly valuable. Lin Feng accepted it, genuinely pleased. High-grade spirit stones were rare. Lu Ru had given him one before. Now he had another. Then City Lord Su added, even more casually. And the spirit stones you borrowed earlier? Don't return them. Consider it a gift. That gift was massive. 100,000 basic spirit stones plus 1,000 intermediate spirit stones. Lin Feng was about to refuse. City Lord Su didn't even let him open his mouth. Enough. Time's tight. Go get familiar with the team and discuss tactics. Win the space rift and everything else is small. He physically pushed Lin Feng toward the group before Lin Feng could argue. The 100 selected geniuses were gathered together, and Lin Feng joined them. Some early 5th ranks had already been replaced by the stronger candidate City Lord Su brought. A young-looking girl stepped forward and extended her hand. Hello, Yen Kaney. That single handshake made nearby geniuses glance over. Earlier, when she introduced herself, she hadn't shaken anyone's hand. Lin Feng shook her hand calmly. Yen Kaney went straight to business. We were already discussing tactics. Since you're here, this battle depends on you. Lin Feng didn't refuse. All right. Yen Kaney began introducing everyone's strengths and methods, one by one. It was clear she'd done homework and organized the group. Lin Feng listened carefully. This was 100 versus 100. Even if he was strong, teammates mattered. If he got surrounded by 100 aliens at once, it could still turn dangerous. He didn't underestimate the enemy at all. You could look down on them in your heart if you wanted, but tactically, you had to respect the threat. This was a fight where people died. At the same time, on the alien side. Inside a massive flying boat, 100 alien geniuses gathered, talking loudly. They're delaying until the last moment. They won't back out. If they break the contract, they lose 6 king-level fighters in a short time. They can't afford that. A silver-eyed genius sneered. Without their acceleration space tricks, their so-called geniuses are a joke. Another laughed. Let them see what a real genius is. Our race has evolved as a whole. Even our ordinary members are comparable to half their awakened ones. How can they compete? Among them, a silver-eyed clan genius sat quietly with eyes closed, saying nothing. But the geniuses around him kept glancing over with awe. They were confident. Too confident. Humans would never imagine what kind of monster our silver eyes produced this time. Lord Tianchan's move was perfect. Not only do we wipe their 100 geniuses, we take the space rift too. 1 play, 2 wins. They spoke like victory was already decided. Back on the human side, time reached the final window. Let's go. The geniuses filed out and boarded their flying boat. Soon, it descended into a river-valley battlefield. City Lord Hai flew down first. Across from him, the silver-eyed powerhouse floated over. Let's test bone age on both sides. Agreed. City Lord Hai answered grimly. Agreed. 2 king-level evolutionaries, 1 male and 1 female, stepped forward on the human side. The aliens also sent 2, carrying bone age detection equipment. Testing finished quickly. No tricks. Every alien was under 25. Every human was under 25. Yen Kaney leaned close to Lin Feng and whispered, they didn't use any extra means. That means they must have a truly strong genius among them. Lin Feng had already seen the same thing. This level of confidence could only come from one place, an absolute monster in their lineup. After that came the last checks. All life-saving items were confiscated. Weapons were inspected to ensure nobody was carrying gear too far beyond their realm. Every possible loophole was sealed. Then the silver-eyed powerhouse spoke again. Then we begin. City Lord Hai answered. Begin. The flying boats descended. Soon, Both teams of 100 were placed on opposite sides of the valley. Rules were simple. No life-saving items. Use one and you're eliminated immediately. And there would be punishment, 10 additional eliminations from the offending side. After that, free combat. The valley was several kilometers wide, open enough for a full battlefield. The moment the aliens landed, they shouted arrogantly and charged. Push forward. Kill them all.
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
They're here. Seeing that 100 alien geniuses rushed over, next to Lin Feng, Yen Caney said. The top of the river valley was already full of king-level evolutionists from both sides. This river valley has been blocked by the two sides with special methods. The evolutionary army on both sides, as well as the human side, more than 1,000 geniuses selected before, watched the battle from the heights of the river valley. Can only see, but not sound. No sound came through. Team 2, come with me. A fifth-order peak evolutionary finished speaking and rushed in one direction. Behind her, more than 30 attackers followed. Team 3, follow me. Another fifth-order peak evolutionary finished speaking and also took more than 30 attackers and ran in the other direction. Lin Feng took the remaining 30 or so evolutionaries in the middle. They split up. On the opposite side, many alien geniuses naturally discovered that human beings were divided into 3 strands. Then let one family settle one share, to save time. Whoever settles one share first can also intervene in the war of the other share. 35. A silver-eyed genius suggested. Now, the two sides are still several kilometers apart, and the terrain is quite complicated, so neither side launched an attack. No problem. Each of our clans has 3 or more 6th-order ranks, and it is more than enough to take them down. The geniuses of the other 2 races joined in. The geniuses of the 3 clans soon completed the discussion, and then they were divided into 3 groups, and they rushed to the 3 groups of geniuses on the human side. There are more than 30 people in each of these 3 clans, and the number is quite even. Lin Feng, you were right, they separated. Seeing that the 3 clans were separated, Yen Caney said next to Lin Feng. This is Lin Feng's strategy. Separate the 3 tribes first. Solve in batches. In this way, these aliens can be eliminated as soon as possible. Difficulty can also be reduced. In Lin Feng's expectation, it is very likely that the 3 clans will also be separated as soon as they see the separation of the human side. All of them are different races, so the coordination of these 3 races with other races is definitely not as good as that of the geniuses of their own race. The aliens thought that they had overshadowed City Lord High, and now there are probably some who care about them. In addition, among these 3 clans, the distribution of resources in the space cracks is also likely to see the size of the force. Impossible to equalize. The most outstanding performers, the allocation is definitely a little more. Just like City Lord Su was displeased when he discovered Lin Feng's evildoer. Because if Lin Feng contributes the most, Su's city will also have an advantage in the resource allocation of the space cracks. Much more work. This distribution plan is the most convincing. Now, the 830 division of aliens has opened, but it is right in Lin Feng's arms. If they do not separate, Lin Feng naturally has coping strategies. Opposite. 3 aliens have already rushed over. Follow me. 99. After Lin Feng finished speaking, he rushed out first. Yen Caney and the other evolutionaries followed, and took the initiative to meet a group of aliens in the middle. Oh, these guys dare to take the initiative to attack. Opposite, rushing towards the middle, is the Tianting clan. Unlike the Silver Eyes, these guys retain a lot of plant characteristics. Their entire family has completed an overall evolution, and some very powerful plant genes have been mixed in their genes. These guys are also very powerful in controlling plants. This can be seen from the blood vine beasts they made. The 30-odd geniuses of the Tianting clan saw Lin Feng lead people to rush over, and they rushed over as if they had been beaten with blood. Although the Silver Eye clan has produced a super genius, in this battle, we have to take the lead. First solve this group of human beings, and then deal with the others. A genius led by the chanting tribe. It is good. The other chanting geniuses moved forward quickly. In the other two directions, the two separate evolutionaries did not take the initiative to meet them. Instead, he is rapidly moving away from the geniuses of the other two races. It looks like it's just a matter of procrastination. These human beings like to play this kind of devious intrigue. In the sky, an alien king who was watching the battle from a high position hummed softly. They must have concentrated the strongest combat power in the middle. They want to defeat the Tianting clan first. However, the Tianting clan has 5 or 6 ranks, and the rest are all 5th rank peaks. I am afraid they will be disappointed. Another alien king level rode. In the face of absolute strength, no tricks are worth mentioning. A king of the Tianting clan snorted softly. They seem to have seen Lin Feng's plan. As a king-level powerhouse, they are naturally not stupid, and they watch from a condescending position. They can see at a glance what strategy the human side is doing. The strength of these aliens is indeed stronger. Several cities of human beings are desperately trying to get together. Under the age of 25, including Lin Feng, there are only 2 6th orders. But a Tianting clan has 5 and 6 ranks. If human beings don't have space with them, facing these aliens who have evolved once as a whole, it is really an incomparable disadvantage. The gap between the portable space is much smaller. No matter how long someone has been in the portable space, the time outside is always fixed. Like the previous batch of more than 1,000 geniuses, all of them are above the 6th order. Although the bone age exceeds the standard, but in the outside world, it is consistent with the aliens. This is terrifying. So humans can regain their footing. Of course, the aliens still have the first mover advantage, and their overall strength is stronger. It will take a lot of time to catch up completely. The two teams of evolutionaries on both sides are still escaping far away. This river valley is a battlefield. If they flee with determination, they can still drag on for a lot of time. In the middle, more than 30 Tianting people, and the evolutionary people brought by Lin Feng, are rapidly closing the distance. Finally, the distance between the two sides has narrowed to less than 1 kilometer. In the middle of the two sides, just separated by a river. Here, too, it is more flat. The field of vision is equally wide. It is very suitable for the battlefield. The other party, more than 30 Tianting people, rushed out from the jungle. But they just rushed out. In the sky, a huge fireball slammed down. 6th order, 9. Above, an alien king class instantly identified the energy level of the fireball. And next to this fireball, there are even more energy-type attacks, smashing the Tianting tribe. The 30 or so Tianting people responded very quickly. I saw that they shot at the same time, and in the next second, a vine shell composed of countless vines appeared instantly, protecting the 30 or so Tianting people in it. Boom! The fireball landed on the rattan shell and exploded violently, and the rattan shell was instantly charred black. A lot of rattan shells were directly blown to pieces. But below, more rattan shells were added. Yankani's bursting fireball was thus defended by the vine shell of the Tianting clan. These guys work really well together. Yankani's explosive fireball did not kill a single Tianting tribesman. In fact, unless it is to deal with beasts without wisdom. Otherwise, in the war between the evolutionary and the evolutionary, cooperation is also very important. In the confrontation of large-scale evolutionaries, cooperation is even more important. Otherwise, unless your strength can reach a certain level, more than king level. Otherwise, thousands of evolutionary people attack you at the same time. That is also a very fatal thing. Boom, boom, boom. At the same time as the bursting fireball exploded, more attacks fell, instantly landing on the vine shell. Those gathered in the middle by Lin Feng are all energy evolutionists. What the energy system evolutionary is best at is long-range attack. The dense attacks landed on the vine shell. This rattan shell woven by more than 30 Tianting geniuses is also extremely powerful. Bombarded by so many terrifying energy attacks, it was not broken. Oh, but that's all. It's only a 6th order. Don't try to break through our vine shells, close the distance, and kill them all. 35. The chanting clan genius, who was headed by them, noticed the energy intensity in these attacks and showed a disdainful expression. These geniuses of the vine tribe approached quickly with their vine shells on. On the river, dense vines began to appear, covering the river. Rise. At this time, a few water system evolutionaries made a fierce shot, and the water on the river suddenly became extremely violent. Not only did stormy waves form all of a sudden. In the river, there are also dense water arrows, rushing towards the geniuses of the chanting tribe. These water arrows are many times sharper than machine gun bullets. Is that all it takes? A sixth-order chanting genius made a move. The vines in the river danced wildly, smashing those water arrows one after another. More vines formed a wall, blocking all the rushing waves. It's our turn. Another sixth-order chanting genius shot fiercely. The vines in the river were swept out violently. Next second, thousands of tiny pebbles broke through the speed of sound, rushing towards the opposite evolutionary like a rain of bullets. Pass it to me. Several evolutionaries shot at the same time, forming a shield, smashing those pebbles one after another. Die. 33. But at this time, another 3 sixth-order chanting clan geniuses shot. 3 blood-colored thunder lights struck suddenly. Seeing these 3 sixth-order chanting clan geniuses take action, Lin Feng's momentum changed. It's now. The chanting clan has already had 5 sixth-order geniuses shot. In Lin Feng's speculation, the 6th order of the chanting clan is not too much. A few at most. If they were together to strengthen the rattan shell, even Lin Feng would be difficult to break. After all, that rattan shell was jointly reinforced by more than 30 chanting clan geniuses. But now, after discovering that the evolutionary on the human side can't break the vine shell at all, 5 or 6 steps have already been shot. Lin Feng's time has come. Next second, an extremely terrifying electric arc slammed out. At the same time as this arc was struck, Yan Kaney and more than a dozen evolutionaries had already shot together, blocking the 3 blood-colored thunder lights. The thunder light from both sides arrived very quickly. Puff! Yan Kaney and more than a dozen evolutionaries used all their strength to stop the blood-colored thunder light, but they all vomited blood. Here, there are no evolutionaries who are good at defense. Although the energy system evolutionary has defensive means, it is the 3 sixth-order chanting clan who have shot. If they can stop it, it's already good. If it is an evolutionary person who is good at defense, even if the evolutionary person is only 5th order, he can prevent the attack of the 6th order. Of course, if he is only one person, it is useless to be able to defend. There is a big difference between defending against the next blow and being able to defend against it all the time. Although he vomited blood, he managed to prevent it. On the other hand, not so much luck. Lin Feng's arc suddenly fell under the vine shell. In the electric sky, the alien king level is no longer calm. The 6th level peak, you will suffer. He has already seen that Lin Feng's shot this time is not only powerful, but also the timing is very good. The 5 sixth-order geniuses of the chanting clan were seized, and none of them had the opportunity to participate in the defense. With one blow, the victory will be decided. Really. I saw that rattan shell. Under the attack of Lin Feng's arc, it was smashed at once. This vine shell has not been reinforced by the 6th-order chanting clan powerhouse. How can it withstand the attack of Lin Feng's arc? The rattan shell was hit with a big hole in an instant. The power of the arc has not yet ended and continued to charge in. Inside, several chanting people were hit and killed directly. It's not over yet. Because the arc just hit a big hole, and a ball of lightning has already fallen from the sky. It's been. The heart of the alien king level watching the battle is a squeaky. Lin Feng's shot was too fast. To change to a lightning element evolutionary at the peak of the 6th order, there is no way to first create a powerful arc in such a short period of time. Then, in less than half a second, another ball lightning. But Lin Feng did it. Ball lightning is actually a range attack, not suitable for breaking through defenses. However, Lin Feng's arc has solved the problem of breaking through defenses. Then he saw that the ball-shaped lightning slammed into the hole in the rattan shell. Boom! Immediately afterwards, ball lightning exploded. The chanting people inside responded quickly. When I saw them, a layer of something similar to tree armor floated up in an instant. This tree armor, as their strength increases, will become stronger and stronger. The tree armor on the 5th order chanting people is far better than the defense of steel. But in Lin Feng's ball lightning attack, the tree armor on these chanting tribesmen shattered one after another. In a short period of time, it turned into countless pieces. Immediately afterwards, thunder and lightning drowned all the geniuses of the chanting tribe. Then I saw that the geniuses of the chanting clan, except for the 5th and 6th order talents, were shocked by Lin Feng's terrifying blow. Completely annihilated. With the killing of these 20 or so geniuses from the chanting clan, the vine shell could not withstand the attacks of more than 10 other evolutionaries on the human side. In addition, the energy of Lin Feng's ball lightning hadn't dissipated, and it was directly blasted into countless fragments. Do not. In the sky, the royal clan of the chanting clan looked at each other with a splitting eye. Everyone is crazy. These 20 or so geniuses from the chanting clan are the most outstanding geniuses of the younger generation of the chanting clan. Although their level of excellence is not as good as the 5th, 6th order geniuses. But it is also very rare. If you continue to cultivate it, it will be appropriate to grow into a king in the future. But now Lin Feng has been hit by a ball lightning, and it has been wiped out. This makes them how not to go crazy. Haha, the timing of Lin Feng's shot is too good. Yeah, this kid was born to fight. It's not easy to grasp such an opportunity. It's not just the timing, his lightning attack is stronger than the ordinary 6th order peak. This time the number of aliens has been reduced by 1/3. There are still 5 6th orders, but there should be no problem. It's different from the madness of the kings of the chanting clan. On the human side, the king-level evolutionaries were all elated. I am also full of praise for Lin Feng. Qingqiu, his strength is so strong. Is he your friend? Next to Lung Qingqiu, a girl from Haicheng also stood beside Lung Qingqiu and said, "This girl also has the strength of the 6th order peak. However, she is also significantly older than the standard." Seeing that Lin Feng is so young, he has such strength and is so handsome. This girl also sees her eyes glowing. Not just her. Among the more than 1,000 geniuses before, as well as the geniuses who were selected later, among the geniuses who were not selected for the battlefield, those girls were also ecstatic. Hateful. The genius of the chanting tribe looked back, and his face turned green. Also in the blink of an eye. There are only 4 of his teammates left. Although it is 4 6th order. But don't think that the other 20 or so chanting tribes are not important. Even if it is a 6th order, facing the attack of a 5th order energy system evolutionary, it is impossible not to defend. Not to mention, there are more than 30 energy evolutionists here. These 20 or so chanting geniuses can defend with all their strength, allowing the 5 of them to attack with confidence. This is also their strategy. 5 and 6 levels can sweep everything. Who would have imagined that Lin Feng would be caught in one go? Boom. The evolutionary attack has come. Although the genius of the chanting clan at the head almost exploded, he quickly made adjustments. 5 6th order chanting clan quickly gathered together, and after narrowing the defense surface, 3 6th order chanting clan propped up the half-moon-shaped rattan shell, and 2 6th order chanting clan launched an attack. Boom. But soon, Lin Feng's attack made their strategy invalid. Because Lin Feng's attack was too fierce. The 3 chanting tribes in the early and middle stages of the 6th order were simply unable to guard against them. Hold me up. Another 6th order chanting clan joined in, and only the 6th order chanting clan headed was still attacking with blood thunder. But on the human side, more than 20 evolutionaries attacked and defended, and Yen Kai and I forcibly blocked him. Boom. 35. Lin Feng's constant attacks. He didn't use sword intent. The reason for not using sword intent is simple. Among these chanting people, although there are 5 6th order people, one of them has reached the late 6th order stage. But Lin Feng feels that this genius of the chanting tribe in the late 6th stage is not the killer of the aliens this time. Therefore, he has to keep his sword intent and give the other party a surprise. You stand up first, and I will defeat their evolutionary first, the headed chanting people said while attacking. The strength of this guy is also really strong. In addition, there are no evolutionaries who are good at defense around Lin Feng. On the opposite side, even with Yan Caney, there are already more than 30 people defending with all their strength, and they can't stand it anymore. As long as he kills or maims these evolutionaries in one go, he can turn the tide of the battle. In his opinion, no matter how strong Lin Feng is, there is only one. Puff. But just as his voice fell, he heard the sound of vomiting blood. We can't take it anymore. Next to it, the voices of the other 4 chanting geniuses sounded. These 4 chanting 6th-order geniuses defended with all their might, but Lin Feng was slammed into vomiting blood. Top again. 35. Behind the leading chanting genius, a large number of vines rushed into the sky, and these vines were also rapidly turning red, and then provided him with energy. He wanted to deliver a fatal blow, and with his powerful strength, he wanted to maim Yan Caney and others with one blow. However, his blow has not yet been issued. Sudden. An invisible storm slammed over. Spiritual attack. Oops. The genius of the chanting tribe, headed by him, felt the intensity inside, and his face changed greatly. Before, there were also spiritual evolutionists on the opposite side, but they did their best to defend against the spiritual attack of the other side. But this one is totally different. His head was blown away by 2.8. He is the strongest, not to mention others. Beside the 4 geniuses of the chanting clan who were fully defending, there was also a hum sound, and they were shocked enough. Next second. A terrible thunder strikes. The 4 chanting geniuses were defeated by the rattan shell before they could react. The rattan armor on their bodies also shattered instantly. These 4 chanting geniuses were directly overwhelmed by the thunder. Haha, for more kills. I didn't expect Lin Feng to hide his hand, and he is so strong in the spiritual department. The last one is also injured, and it won't last long. Look, those guys from the chanting tribe are turning green. In the sky, seeing Lin Feng kill 4 more 6th rankers with one blow, the king rank evolutionaries clapped their hands and applauded. City Lord Su smiled even more. Even the Sea City Master, the frown that has been frowning, has also stretched. As for the opposite, it's another situation. The kings of the chanting clan were so angry that they almost jumped. The expressions of the kings of the other 2 races also changed a bit. Obviously, they did not expect that the geniuses of the chanting tribe would die so quickly. However, the expressions on the faces of the strong men of the silver eyes are still very calm. After his eyes swept across Lin Feng's face, he didn't have any worries. Because their real cards are not the geniuses of the chanting clan at all. The chanting clan was killed, but it was just right, the interest distribution of this space crack. The chanting clan should not think about how much. Boom. Damn it. The last 10N genius was roaring there. He was also injured, but since he was not attacked by Lin Feng, he was relatively well. However, the other 4 chanting geniuses died. He is the only one left among the more than 30 geniuses of the chanting clan. For trash. The guy cursed. In a few more seconds, he will be able to defeat Yan Caney and the others, and then join forces with the 4 to attack. But these 4 guys didn't hold on. Now he has also switched from offense to defense. More than 30 evolutionaries have been attacking him continuously. Get out of here and join the Silver Eyes. This guy is about to run away. But he clearly overestimated his defense. As soon as Lin Feng's hand moved, an incomparably huge ball lightning fell. Then, dust falls. 30 geniuses of the chanting clan were wiped out like this. By the river valley, seeing everyone in the chanting tribe annihilated, the king-level evolutionaries on the human side were also elated. The other geniuses were also quite shocked. They were all in space before. They all know Lin Feng's age. But what I knew back then was just a number. True combat power can only be manifested in actual combat. 2 evolutionaries who are also at the peak of the 6th order, and their combat power may be very different. The experience of fighting, the smell of fighting, The grasp of the timing, the speed of the shot, the power of the skills, and so on, can affect the actual results. Even some of these geniuses are lightning element evolutionaries at the peak of Tier 6. After they watched Lin Feng's fight, a conclusion was soon reached. That is, if they went up, they would not be able to achieve such a victory as Lin Feng. In a short period of time, more than 30 Tianting geniuses were killed. Inside, there are a full 5 or 6 levels. The strongest one of them has reached the late 6th stage. The gap between the late 6th order and the 6th order peak is not particularly large. Not to mention, these guys cooperate with each other and can be said to be both offensive and defensive. If they were replaced by them, even if they were able to kill them, it was estimated that they would kill many evolutionaries on their own side. There is also a certain possibility that it will fail. But in Lin Feng's case, the results were completely different. It has only been a few minutes since the two sides started the war. It will wipe out more than 30 Tianting geniuses. It is already a party, and one is not dead. Such a feat is terrifying. It is also enough to show that Lin Feng is powerful. Lin Feng is the key. In their opinion, Lin Feng alone accounted for more than 90% of the factors in this battle. Of course, Yan Caney and the others also played a role. But neither is the key. After all, the strength of the geniuses of the Tianting tribe was beyond expectations. Right? After eliminating more than 30 people from the Tianting clan, Lin Feng quickly chose a new target. Right? Lin Feng quickly walked over there. Yan Caney followed with the evolvers one after another. At this time, on both sides of the battlefield, a game of cat and mouse is still going on. The evolutionaries of Team 2 and Team 3 did not fight against aliens at all and kept hiding. These people were also specially selected by Lin Feng. The people he brought were all energy evolutionists who attacked extremely sharply. However, the evolution of Teams 2 and 3 is more complicated. There are those who are good at defense, those who are good at speed, and those who are good at perception. The reason for this combination is simple. Lin Feng also didn't expect them to kill many enemies. They are all 5th order, and it is difficult to kill too many enemies. Their role is to drag. Hold off the geniuses of the other two races. Give Lin Feng time to solve the problem in batches. 16 If it is not solved in batches, Lin Feng is sure to win, but the fight will definitely be more difficult. Now, in just a few minutes, the genius of the Tianting clan has been secured. The other two battlefields have yet to be handed over. The Silver Eyes and the other kind of aliens, whose bodies seem to be made of metal, are still chasing Team and Team 3. The second team and third team didn't fight at all and kept taking them around in circles. With the help of the rather complicated terrain, their cat and mouse game was very well played. The kind of aliens whose bodies look like they are made of metal are called Injia people, which are aliens who are good at melee combat. Their bodies are also quite strong. Even the 5th order silver-armored people are not so easy to hang up. It's shameful for these humans to hide in Tibet like mice. A silver-armored genius snorted softly. They're chasing two teams. But Team 2 kept hiding, and after a few minutes, they still couldn't catch up. Break into two ways and block them. Another Injia genius said. It is good. These two silver-armored geniuses are 6th order talents. The number of their 6th order ranks is less than that of the Tianting clan. However, these Injia people are both offensive and defensive, and their strength is generally stronger than that of the Tianting tribe of the same level. Soon, they were divided into two teams. One team was led by a 6th order silver armor. Prepare to outflank the 30 or so evolutionaries of Team 2. The other side. 30 or so geniuses of the Silver Eyes are also chasing Team 3. The evolutionaries in the three teams are not slow and constantly use the terrain to avoid them. After chasing for more than 10 minutes, the 30-odd geniuses of the Silver Eyes clan just didn't catch them. On the other side, Lin Feng has already brought people towards this side. The evolutionists of Team 3 are already moving towards Lin Feng's position. Haha, these aliens must be furious. Chased for a long time, chased lonely. 55. Lin Feng's tactic is good. As long as Lin Feng joins the team on the right, it will not be a problem to take down the Silver Eyes. 35. Yeah, but the Injia clan seems to have divided their troops, and the team on the left is a little dangerous. It should be no problem to persist for a while, as long as Lin Feng takes care of the silver eyes on the right. Above the river valley, more than 1,000 genius evolutionaries watched and discussed. Next to Ling Qingqiu, the girl from Haiqing was chatting with several other girls there. In each tone, there is a little admiration for Lin Feng. Distinct. They are all older than Lin Feng. But now, when they see Lin Feng, they all seem to have turned into little girls with pink hearts. There are stars in the eyes. Above the valley, the human king-level evolutionaries are also watching the battle while discussing. As long as they converge, it's not a big problem to get rid of the people of the silver eyes. A king-level evolutionary is optimistic. Now I'm afraid that there are stronger geniuses in the Inmu clan, and there is a 6th-order late stage in the Tianting clan. I am also worried about this. These aliens did not play small tricks this time. They have been able to explain the problem. Yeah, I don't know if it's the 6th order peak or 7th order. 5. Other king-level evolutionaries also have some concerns. To be able to become a king-level evolutionary, naturally no one is an idiot. The aliens did not play tricks this time. There is no conspiracy either. Rather, it is to have such a showdown with humans in a proper manner. There is only one possibility. These aliens are really sure. Seeing that among the geniuses of the Tianting clan, the strongest one has reached the late 6th stage. There are also 5/6. The king-level evolutionaries are a little worried. Among the Silver Eyes clan, it is very likely that there are geniuses of the 6th order peak, or even the 7th order. If it is the 6th order peak, it is relatively good, because Lin Feng is also the 6th order peak. Moreover, Lin Feng's combat power is much stronger than the ordinary 6th order peak. But what if it's level 7? Then it hangs. Although the number of human evolutionaries is now more, but when people have absolute strength, the effective number is not as big as imagined. That guy's expression is very calm, so it may be 7th order. There are also king-level evolutionaries watching the strong man of the Silver Eyes. There seems to be no movement from the Tianting clan. They solved the human race so quickly. 35. Below, in the dense forest, is a genius of the Silver Eyes who is chasing the evolutionary team of the 3rd team. Due to the different directions, the complicated terrain, and the distance of several kilometers, the geniuses of the Silver Eyes did not see the battle between the geniuses of the Tianting tribe and Lin Feng. However, they had heard the sound of battle before. Now, the sound of fighting stopped. This naturally made the genius of the Silver Eyes curious. They chased for more than 10 minutes, but they still haven't been able to catch up with the evolutionary team of 3 teams. The Tianting clan not only engaged in the battle very quickly, but also resolved the battle so quickly. Something wrong. Another silver-eyed genius said. In Shao, what do you think? The other geniuses of the Silver Eyes all turned to look at a tall silver eye. This tall silver-eyed clan is the most recent unparalleled super genius in the silver-eyed clan. It is also the biggest reliance of these 3 clans. The reason why the silver-eyed powerhouse still did not change his face after seeing the Tianting clan being wiped out is because of the existence of this guy. There should be something wrong with the Tianting clan. The genius of the Inmu tribe, known as Silver Howl, guessed. The evolutionaries of Team 3 kept running away and did not fight them, which made him faintly aware of Lin Feng's plan. The authorities are fascinated, and bystanders are clear. The people on both sides of the river valley, as well as the king-level evolutionary looking at the top of the river valley, can see the whole situation because they stand high. Naturally, Lin Feng's plan was clear at a glance. They're in this battlefield, and this battlefield blocks all means of communication. Naturally, it is not as clear as the onlookers. But as a genius, seeing the abnormal behavior of the 3 evolutionary teams, Yin Xiao also faintly noticed. However, he didn't know that the Tianting people had been killed. I also have this feeling, this team of evolutionaries keeps hiding and doesn't play against us at all. There is obviously a problem. 35. Another silver-eyed genius said. There is no need to play with them slowly anymore. In Yin Zhao's eyes, killing intent appeared. Being carried around by the evolutionary team of 3 teams, he has no patience. Originally, he was still going to hide and only shot at the end. But now he has decided to change tactics. While speaking, his surroundings began to emit a faint light. Among these humans, it is impossible to have too strong a genius. My strength is enough to sweep everything. I will deal with this team first, and then deal with the others. After Yin Xiao finished speaking, it suddenly turned into light and rushed into the sky. I'm going. 9. After seeing Yin Xiao rushing into the sky, more than 1,000 genius evolutionaries watching the battle by the river valley became agitated one after another. The expressions of some genius evolutionaries also changed. For the energy system evolutionary, being able to fly means a basic thing. This evolutionary has reached the 7th level. At the peak of the 6th order, it is difficult to fly. 7th order, to be able to fly steadily. How can there be a 7th order? These genius evolutionaries are a little reluctant to believe. Among them, there are also some 7th order. But they're accelerated in space. The actual bone age, many have already exceeded 30. However, the aliens who participated in the war have also been tested by the human king-level evolutionary. All under the age of 25. Under the age of 25, as a result, he has the strength of the 7th order. This surprised these genius evolutionaries, and their faces changed. Level 7. And the 6th order peak, but 2 concepts. How can this name a fight? Yeah, this guy is still light, and his speed is a bit faster. This time is not good. It's over, it's over. Suddenly, by the river valley, more than 1,000 evolutionaries changed their faces and became pessimistic about the battle situation. Almost all of them are 6th order peaks, and they too understand how big the gap between 6th order peaks and 7th order peaks is. Being able to fly is a huge advantage. Not to mention, the attacks made by others are more than a little bit stronger than the 6th order peak. Oops. By the river valley, Ling Qingqiu was worried about Lin Feng. Although she knew that Lin Feng's sword intent had improved compared to when he was in the defensive line. However, she didn't know whether Lin Feng's sword intent could deal with the 7th rank. After all, Lin Feng only had sword intent before. In addition, fighting with beasts and fighting with alien geniuses are 2 concepts. Ferocious beasts have no wisdom, and their methods are single. This silver-eyed genius can reach the 7th rank, and he is extremely evil and has a lot of methods. It is more difficult to deal with than a 7th rank beast. Tier 7. How can there be a Seventh order? 35. I felt something was wrong, and sure enough, the Silver Eyes clan produced a 7th order super genius who was less than 25 years old. The situation is bad. Not only did the more than 1,000 genius evolutionaries who watched the battle change their faces. In the sky, the expressions of the king-level evolutionaries also changed. On the face of Haiqing Lord, the brows twitched again. Obviously, he doesn't feel good either. Moreover, compared to other king-level evolutionaries, he is more worried. Because of his daughter, but in that battlefield. Once you can't beat it, the genius of the aliens will not let go. City Lord Su also has some concerns. However, at the thought of Lin Feng's sword intent that was able to cut through his body protecting energy back then, City Lord Su gave birth to some hope again. Lin Feng's sword intent is extremely sharp, and he is good at grasping fighter opportunities. As long as he is given a chance, he might be able to kill the Silver Eyes. City Lord Su thought. But there is still concern in his heart. These guys weren't happy before, but now they're dumbfounded. The people of the Tianting clan were careless and fell for a human trick, but in the face of absolute strength, they still cannot escape defeat. On the opposite side, now it was the aliens' turn to have fun there. To be precise, the kings of the Injia clan and the Inmu clan were happy there. The king level of the Tianting clan was still depressed there. Their genius has been wiped out, it's no wonder they're happy. Even if the 7th order geniuses of the Silver Eye clan killed all the human geniuses, they would have a huge disadvantage in the distribution of this space crack due to their too little effort. At this time, because it flew into the sky, Yin Xiao, who aroused many commotions in the spectators, was quickly flying towards Team 3. Before, because they didn't fly into the sky, and there were obstacles blocking the line of sight, the geniuses of the Jinai clan did not grasp the movements of the evolutionists in the 3 teams very well. Was led by the nose. But once you fly into the sky and have a high-altitude vision, it's different. Yin Xiao directly saw the positions of the 30 or so evolutionaries in the 3 teams. Moreover, he also saw that another team of evolutionaries was approaching more than 30 evolutionaries in the 3 teams. As for the Tianting people, they disappeared. The Yinjia people could only see some movement. After all, he didn't fly very high, and he couldn't fly too high because it was restricted above. Sure, there is a problem. Yin Xiao snorted softly. He quickly rushed to Team 3. Although he noticed that there was a problem, he had enough confidence in his own strength. Look at the sky. In the 3 teams, some evolutionary people found it. 7th order. 35. The evolutionaries in the 3 teams have changed their faces. Come on, move closer to Lin Feng. 99. For the Tao of the evolutionary Tao. They're fast. However, no matter how fast the speed is, it can't compare to the silver roar in the sky. Yin Xiao quickly approached. Soon, the distance will be shortened. Die. Yin Xiao's body radiated light. Unlike the relatively unified abilities of the Tianting people, the abilities of the Silver Eye people are diverse. Unification has the benefit of unification. That is to be able to go to the extreme in an ability. Yin Xiao is a powerful light element evolutionary. All of a sudden, his whole person turned into a small sun. A beam of light slammed out and rushed towards Team 3. Stop. In the 3 teams, the 5th order evolutionary led by them suddenly propped up a defensive shield. This guy is a powerful and defensive evolutionary. Other evolutionaries have injected spiritual power. Next second, Yin Zhao's attack arrived. I saw that the big shield supported by the combined efforts of more than 30 evolutionaries was directly shattered. The powerful strength of Yin Yao's 7th order is undoubtedly demonstrated. With just one blow, more than 30 evolutionaries were broken, and there were several defensive shields held up by defensive evolutionaries. Compared with the Tianting clan of the late 6th order, I don't know how much stronger. Puff. More than 30 evolutionaries in the 3 teams all vomited blood. Among them, the strongest is only the 5th order peak. The strength gap of 830 is still too big. Fortunately, there are several evolutionists who are taking the defensive route. Otherwise, they would have killed a lot of people with this blow. Now, although everyone vomited blood and was injured, no one died. Yin Wu's strike was effective, and he was about to strike again to deal with these 30 or so evolutionaries. Boom! At this time, an electric arc struck violently. Yin Zhao's reaction was very fast, blocking the hand as a light, destroying the arc. 6th order pinnacle. Yin Xiao felt the energy intensity in the arc. Fix you first. 99. His face remained unchanged, and he immediately changed his strategy. To solve the strong, other people, is not worth mentioning. Yin Xiao quickly found Lin Feng, who had taken the shot. At this time, Lin Feng was standing on a big rock, behind Yan Caney and others. Die! Yin Xiao raised his hands high, and a terrifying beam of light slammed down. This blow is more powerful than the blow against the 30 or so evolutionaries of the 3 teams. Because Lin Feng's strength is stronger, and, behind Lin Feng, there are more than 30 evolutions. Therefore, Yin Xiao also exerted all his strength, preparing to kill Lin Feng with one blow. This battle, in his opinion, no longer has any suspense. Not worth playing too long. Above the river valley, everyone's eyes have been focused on Lin Feng and Yin Xiao. Ling Qingqiu and some girls have subconsciously grabbed the corners of their clothes. Under the pretty face, he was also full of worry. Not only them. The king-level evolutionaries have not discussed anymore. They are all looking at Lin Feng nervously. Seeing that Yin Xiao attacked. Behind Lin Feng, Yankani had already launched her own secret skills and attacked at the same time with the other 30 or so energy system evolutionaries. However, their attack under that beam of light was almost like tofu. Broken immediately. Yin Zhao's full-strength strike was terrifying. Seeing that the beam of light is about to strike, Lin Feng finally moved. He didn't use thunder. Instead, draw a sword. Sword? When it came to Lin Feng's sword, by the river valley, many genius evolutionaries couldn't help but have question marks in their heads. Isn't Lin Feng a lightning evolution of the sixth order peak? What he should do is to attack together with Yankani and the others, and maybe be able to block them. But Lin Feng actually drew a sword? Not just them. The king-level evolutionaries above the river valley are also puzzled. Only City Lord Su and Lang Qingqiu couldn't help but look forward to seeing the sword drawn by Lin Feng. Lin Feng's movements are also extremely fast. After pulling out the sword in his hand is a slash. Immediately after, a beam of light that was extremely bright. Just by looking at it, one could feel a chilling sword light, and it rushed out. The beam of light has come. The sword light collided with the beam of light. There was no earth-shattering sound. Only saw. That incomparably sharp beam of light was split into two by the sword light, and then quickly dissipated. This sword light slashed the beam of light with unrivaled momentum. In the blink of an eye, he rushed in front of Yin Zhao. Yin Zhao's complexion changed greatly, and when he moved his hands, a shield made up of countless shimmers appeared. But the sword light directly smashed the shield and passed over Yin Zhao's body. Then, he also rushed out a lot of distance, slashing the energy restrictions set by many kings in the sky. All eyes, following the sword light, fell on Yin Zhao. What's your trick called? Yin Zhao spoke with difficulty, and the voice came over. First meet. Lin Feng said lightly. First time, very good. After Yin Zhao finished speaking, he couldn't hold on any longer. Next second, his whole person fell from the sky like a kite with a broken string. During the fall, his body split in two and fell heavily on the stone. This super genius of the Silver Eyes, a seventh order under the age of 25. In this way, he was killed by Lin Feng with one sword. How is this possible? Seeing Yin Zhao fall down in the sky, all the kings of the Silver Eyes could not sit still. Not only the Silver Eyes. Other alien kings can't sit still. A seventh order Yin Zhao was actually killed? Moreover, it was killed in seconds. How dare they believe it? At this time, the expression on the face of the originally calm Silver Eyes powerhouse is no longer calm. Other aliens are king level, and the changes are even greater. Ha ha. On the human side, the king-level evolutionary is full of laughter. I didn't expect Lin Feng to hide so many tricks. Under the age of 20, there is such a sword intent, this child. A king-level evolutionary was happy and praised Lin Feng, but his companions quickly pulled him. This king-level evolutionary realized something and quickly cut off the following words. Lin Feng behaved so evilly this time, and he must have been noticed by the aliens. Let the aliens know that Lin Feng is actually under 20 years old, and he may be targeted by aliens in the future. Of course, in the previous Bone Age test, it must have been detected. At that time, the aliens didn't know Lin Feng's strength, and when they went back to review, maybe they would know. In the sky, City Lord Hai silently took a step forward. Other king-level evolutionaries also have a tacit release of qi. The reason is simple. They're worried that the aliens will take action now. Although the aliens repented now, just like they did back then, once they repented, they would be devoured by the Blood Pact. In a short period of time, aliens will also lose 6 king-level combat power. It also includes the powerful Silver Eyes powerhouse. But also have to guard. On the opposite side, the alien king level has no sign of turning back. Below, the battle continues. After Lin Feng killed the 7th rank Yin Zhao with his sword light, he stopped hiding. Instead, he jumped violently and took the initiative to jump to the genius of the Silver Eyes who followed behind. Yin Zhao is dead? Don't panic, everyone. 30 silver-eyed geniuses discovered that after Yin Zhao's death, their expressions changed greatly. Lin Feng came quickly. His physical quality, under the constant feedback of Tong Tong, is very powerful in itself. Be careful. The sword light flashed, and before a genius of the silver eyes could react, he was beheaded by the sword light. Watch out for his sword. Other geniuses of the silver eyes attacked Lin Feng one after another. Lin Feng quickly approached with the help of the cover of the terrain. Now that the sword intent has been exposed, use the sword to resolve the battle. Just take these people to try the sword. The geniuses of the silver eyes gathered together and kept attacking. In the dense forest ahead, the trees were almost flattened by their attack. But Lin Feng was too fast. Coupled with the complex terrain here, these keen-eyed geniuses couldn't hit Lin Feng at all. Another sword light. Stop. A genius of the silver eyes attacked. But the sword light had already attacked, and the silver-eyed genius was killed in an instant. He came. A silver-eyed genius found that Lin Feng's figure was approaching, and his face changed greatly. Next second, the sword light kept appearing. Defend together. 99. Kill him. 30 or more geniuses of the silver eyes have some attacks and some defenses, but they're all useless. Under Lin Feng's terrifying sword light, no one could stop him. 30 people are rapidly attrition. Too strong. By the river valley, watching this battle turned into Lin Feng's personal show, and the other genius evolutionaries were stunned. It was amazing enough to see the 7th Order Silver Eyes being killed. Now, Lin Feng killed these silver-eyed geniuses with a 1-31 to no resistance. It is also very shocking to see these genius evolutionaries one by one. How did he cultivate? Not only is the lightning element so strong, but he also has such a powerful sword element cultivation. A genius evolutionary muttered. He couldn't figure out how Lin Feng cultivated anyway. In the back, Yan Caney and the others were completely unable to keep up with Lin Feng's rhythm. In the successive battles, Yan Caney's consumption was not small. In particular, he was attacked by the evolutionary of the 6th Order peak and suffered some minor injuries. Seeing that Lin Feng was so fierce, Yan Kaianai was afraid of accidentally hurting Lin Feng, so she did not let other evolutionaries attack. In fact, it doesn't need to, because the genius of the silver eyes died too quickly under the light of Lin Feng's sword. Soon, the staff was reduced to less than 20 people. Still downsizing. After the death of the geniuses of the 7th Order Silver-Eyed clan, these guys, in Lin Feng's opinion, are not much different from the fierce beasts in the fortress. If the terrain here is open, these guys will become more difficult. Because Lin Feng also had to defend against their attacks. But the terrain here is complex, and it can be said to be the best battlefield to test the sword. In the sky, watching the geniuses of the silver eyes being slaughtered so quickly, the faces of the strong silver eyes were covered with frost. The expressions on the faces of the other silver-eyed kings also became very ugly. Also, in a short period of time, they enjoyed the fall from heaven to hell. On the opposite side, City Lord Hai was silent and had already guarded them with all his strength. City Lord Su, who was originally smiling and happy, has also put away his smile and is also guarding against these aliens. Kill him. Where is he? Be careful behind. 99. The remaining silver-eyed geniuses are struggling to support under the leadership of a 6th Order genius. But it didn't work at all. Lin Feng appeared like a ghost, and with a flash of sword light, a life could be harvested. The 6th Order geniuses of the silver eyes kept attacking. You can either be avoided by Lin Feng with the help of terrain, or be forcibly blocked by Lin Feng with a sword light. Soon, the 6th Order genius of the silver eyes found out. By his side, he was the only one left. The other 2-tier SIXS have also been killed. Lin Feng's figure has appeared. I fought with you. The 6th Order genius of the silver eyes shouted and attacked Lin Feng. What greeted him was a sword light. This kills it all. Yeah, too soon. I am afraid that Lin Feng's cultivation in the sword element has reached the peak of the 7th rank. No, I feel that what is scary about him is his sword intent. Don't you realize that he is only one move from beginning to end? The king-level evolutionaries above the river valley were all guarding against aliens, and they did not discuss anymore. The genius evolutionaries on the side of the river are very interested in discussing. As a genius evolutionary, many people still have a certain vision. Even though they were far away, These genius evolutionaries could see that Lin Feng's sword intent must be very terrifying. Below, Lin Feng killed the genius of the Silver-Eyed clan, carried his sword, and rushed in another direction. Let's go, we'll follow. Yan Kaney followed with the evolvers. Tian Chan, it seems that there is no need to fight again, right? Above the river valley, a silver-armored king said to the silver-eyed powerhouse. See what he means. Impressively ready to admit defeat. It is also possible that he is ready to go back. In short, this guy wants to end the fight now. The reason is also very simple. Because now the geniuses of the Tianting clan and the Inmu clan have been killed. Only 30 people from the Injia clan were left. After Lin Feng showed the strength to kill the 7th rank in an instant, he also killed all the other geniuses of the Inmu clan by himself. There is not much suspense in this battle. Can't seem to beat it. This silver-armored king level wants to save the genius of the silver-armored family. Raybo, when did your silver armor become so useless? The voice of the Silver Armor Clan King fell, and the voice of a Tianting Clan King rang out. Although the geniuses of our Tianting tribe were defeated, they all died standing up, and none of them were kneeling. Why, you geniuses of the Silver Armor, are you going to leave the station on your knees? Another Tianting Clan King snorted softly. The attack of these two guys from the Tianting Clan King level made the face of the Silver Armor Clan King level become ugly. How could others not be clear about his plans? But, seeing that the geniuses of his own family are all dead, how could the Tianting clan and the Inmu clan just watch the geniuses of the Injia clan exit the battlefield intact? Not to mention, that requires them to voluntarily admit defeat and surrender. If you can't beat it, you just can't beat it. It's definitely not possible to take the initiative to surrender. Although these 3 alien races cooperate with each other, they also compete with each other. Hee, these guys are fighting and fighting. On the opposite side, the Human King level evolutionaries watched the excitement. Then let's keep fighting. The geniuses of our Injia clan will not be as unbearable as your Tianting clan. 5. Seeing that the plan was in vain, the silver-armored king snorted softly. Don't mention it again. He could only watch helplessly as the geniuses of the silver armor were killed. Although his mouth is stubborn, this guy also knows in his heart that it is impossible for the battle situation to change too much. At this time, in the valley, 30-odd geniuses from the Silver Armor clan still don't know the battle situation on the other side. I don't know, in this valley, there are only more than 30 of the 100 geniuses of the 3 clans left. Oh, let's see where you're going. 30 geniuses from the Silver Armor clan were divided into 2 groups and finally blocked the 2 teams that were holding them back. Don't panic everyone, gather together, defend with all your strength, and wait for Lin Feng to come to support us. The 5th Order Peak Evolutionary led by Team 2 shouted. His strategy is simple. That is full defense. 30 or so evolutionaries quickly gathered together, formed a round shield formation. Periphery is an evolutionary who is good at defense. The evolutionary in the middle is responsible for the attack. 30 people from the Silver Armor clan quickly approached. Their speed is very fast, and their physical strength is far higher than other races. Their body's defense against the energy system's attack is incomparably strong. It can be said that the energy system attacks of the same level, they can carry it with their bodies. Boom. 30 or so evolutionaries kept attacking, but they couldn't stop the geniuses of the Silver Armor from approaching. These Silver Armor geniuses are carrying war knives in their hands. There are complicated patterns on the sword. This is the spirit pattern. Such a sword is also a kind of psychic weapon. Incomparably sharp, at the same time, it also gave these Silver Armor geniuses some long-range attack capabilities. They're here. Don't panic. 5. 66. The round shield, composed of more than 30 evolutionaries, was forced to the corner. Look at me. There are evolutionaries who control a large number of small weapons with their thoughts, attacking the geniuses of the silver armor. There are also evolutionaries who have launched a mental shock. But there was still no way to stop the shining armor from approaching. These guys are too hard. Die. A sixth-order silver-armored genius raised his sword and slashed at an evolutionary. The evolutionary shouted loudly, with a solid shield in his hand. Boom. The sword slashed below. Even though the evolutionary was of the power system, under this knife, he was shocked and vomited blood, and the bones of his hands were almost broken. The other geniuses of the silver armor are already approaching. Once these geniuses of the shining armor, who are extremely good at melee combat, are approached, it will be a nightmare for human evolutionaries. Oops. Above the river valley, a voice sounded. But the owner of this voice is a silver armor king. Seeing that these geniuses of the silver armor were able to wipe out more than 30 human evolutionists in no time, he was not happy at all, but shouted bad. The reason is simple. Because Lin Feng has already arrived. Boom. 35. Seeing that the geniuses of the silver armor have surrounded the human evolutionary people, Lin Feng threw a thunderbolt from a distance. Be careful. Several geniuses from the silver-armored tribe immediately returned to the defense. Lin Feng's thunder made these silver-armored geniuses tremble. But these geniuses of the silver armor are not as unbearable as the Tianting tribe. It was abruptly blocked. They are indeed perverted in the defense of the energy system. In fact, not only the energy system, but other types of attacks, as long as the strength is not up to the level, there is no way to cause enough damage to them. These guys abandoned the means of long-range attack and strengthened their bodies to be like super metal, so it's no wonder that the defense power has not changed. Although these silver-armored geniuses blocked Lin Feng's thunder, above the river valley, none of the silver-armored kings were optimistic. Because, for the Injia people, Lin Feng's incomparably sharp sword intent is the nemesis. Really. Their hunch came true. After a thunderbolt, Lin Feng drew his sword again. In the distance, a sword light came over. The geniuses of the silver armor who had blocked the thunder were dispatched again, and the swords in their hands met Lin Feng's sword light in unison. Next second, their war knives were cut off all at once. After the sword light cut off the sword light, it didn't stop for the slightest bit. Inside, the sword intent reached the middle stage of transformation, showing a terrifying, formidable power. Passed over the bodies of these silver-armored geniuses. These few silver-armor tribesmen who were able to attack with the energy of the sixth order peak level with their bodies, just like this, all trembled. Then all fell down. The body has been cut in half. Above the river valley, the king-level complexion of the silver armor has become the color of pig liver. Now they have experienced the mood of the king of the silver eyes just now. He watched helplessly as the geniuses in his clan were slaughtered, but there was no way he could do it. Below, the slaughter has already begun. The battlefield has once again become Lin Feng's personal show. I saw Lin Feng kept approaching, and the sword in his hand kept moving. In the blink of an eye, several silver-armored geniuses were killed. 66. Beware the rear. This man is too strong, kill him first. The geniuses of the silver armor also quickly discovered Lin Feng. 30 or so human evolutionaries had already been beaten to the point of vomiting blood, and they were seriously injured. Seeing that Lin Feng was so strong, these silver-armored geniuses suddenly gave up more than 30 human evolutionaries. They all killed Lin Feng. However, before he got close, Lin Feng's sword light kept appearing, reaping lives. They shouldn't be separated. Above the river valley, the silver-eyed powerhouse finally spoke. Around, several alien kings nodded in agreement. In the beginning, the geniuses of the three clans should not be separated. When these three clans cooperate, their combat power is the most powerful. The Tianting tribe is more prominent in defense, while the Silver-Eye tribe is more sharp in attack. Silver armor is a very good addition. They are good at melee combat, and they are tough. The three alien races united against other alien races, as well as humans, for this reason. If the three clans were not separated from the beginning, in the eyes of these alien kings, even Lin Feng would have a hard time winning. Like now. After the advantages of these silver armors were restrained by Lin Feng, there was absolutely no way to take Lin Feng. At this time, if there are geniuses from other races to cooperate, it will be different. However, nothing is if. Moreover, these alien kings are too optimistic, even if they are not separated from the beginning. For Lin Feng, it is nothing more than playing harder and taking longer. The sword light kept flashing. The geniuses of the shining armor are constantly being harvested. The two geniuses in the 6th Order silver armor tried to stimulate the spirit pattern in the battle sword and attacked Lin Feng with the light of the sword, but they were also smashed by Lin Feng with the light of the sword. How could this be? Where did this person come from? The geniuses of these silver armors were also stunned. They never thought that they had just surrounded the 30-odd human, good money, evolutionary people, and they were about to wipe out the stalls. It jumped out unexpectedly, such a peerless, fierce Lin Feng. Beat them to no avail. It must be approached. 99. Two 6th Order silver-armored geniuses kept trying to approach with the help of the terrain. But there are fewer and fewer people around them. Be careful. A sword light directly cut off a tree and attacked fiercely. These two 6th Order silver-armored geniuses took out their full strength to block them. The sword light passed by. The next second, they followed in the footsteps of others. No suspense. Above the river valley, a king-level evolutionary smiled. Although there is no suspense. But these king-level evolutionaries are not the same as before. One by one there is a lot of fun. Instead, they became vigilant. Not in the mood to chat or anything. Instead, he is fully vigilant against the aliens on the opposite side. More than 1,000 geniuses by the river valley are more active, and they are all discussing there. Beside Lung Qingqiu, several girls have been chatting and arguing for a long time. In the river valley, two 6th Order Yinjia people died, and the rest of the Yinjia people died. Just 2 minutes later. In this area, there is no one silver armor tribe anymore. Yes, it's just corpses all over the place. At this moment, Yan Kai and I just arrived with someone from a distance. All killed. Looking at the corpses of the geniuses of the silver armor in one place, Yan Kai was taken aback for a moment. Too strong. 30 or so evolutionaries of Team 2 saw with their own eyes how these Yinjia geniuses were killed by Lin Feng. One by one was also greatly shocked. After they were surrounded by the geniuses of the silver armor, even if they defended with all their strength, they were beaten to the point of being unable to fight back. Even more serious injuries. If Lin Feng hadn't arrived in time, it wouldn't have taken much time for these 30 or so evolutionaries to be killed by the geniuses of the Yinjia tribe. The result lifts. When facing them, the geniuses of the silver armor who were extremely powerful, in front of Lin Feng, looked like they were made of tofu. Lin Feng is like cutting melons, one at a time, occasionally a few. Just slaughter these 30 or so silver armor geniuses. Such strength. It is also stunned to see more than 30 genius evolutionaries. All of them are completely convinced by Lin Feng. Damn it. The kings of the silver armor clan all exploded with rage. This son must kill. When the silver-armored kings exploded one by one. Above the river valley, the eyes of the silver-eyed powerhouses turned to Lin Feng. In his eyes, there is a strong killing intent. Just now, an alien king who tested the bone age of human geniuses has told him that Lin Feng's bone age is less than 20 years old. 19 years and 8 months to be exact. Such bone age is terrifying. Too young. Starting evolution is not the sooner the better. Too early, it is harmful to the body, and it may be diligent in the early stage, but generally after reaching the 5th or 6th level, some hidden dangers will come out. The speed of growth will drop all of a sudden, and the upper limit of growth will be limited. So, the current human side, basically, when they are 18 years old, they will start their own evolution only after they have obtained their personal space. At this age, both physical and mental development are already very mature. In this regard, these aliens, who have evolved once as a whole, are earlier. After the whole has evolved once, babies are born stronger than human babies. Like the Silver Eyes, they can start evolution at the age of 16. In addition, they have evolved once as a whole, and at the genetic level, they have been optimized. Therefore, their geniuses are stronger at the same age. But now, on the human side, a genius like Lin Feng has actually been born. A bone age of less than 20 years old has a 7th order strength. It's not a normal 7th order. It is an extremely powerful 7th order. Directly killed their 7th order genius. Not only that, it turned the entire battle into a personal show. With his own power, he killed all the Inmu and Injia people. Such Lin Feng, in the eyes of the Silver Eyes powerhouse, is simply too terrifying. What's scary is that it's not Lin Feng's current strength. No matter how strong Lin Feng's current strength is, it is not worth mentioning to this silver-eyed powerhouse. He is a king-level powerhouse. Not your average king. Don't say level 7. Even the 8th order and 9th order, for him, there is not much difference. But the scary thing about Lin Feng is his potential. Less than 20 years old, even if there are those human spaces, some talent bonuses are provided. Such Lin Feng's potential is also extremely terrifying. Not hard to imagine. How will Lin Feng grow in the future? King class? Still, his level. Or stronger tiers. Even the strongest? We must kill him in advance, otherwise, once he grows up, these cities in the east will become a big problem for us. The silver-eyed powerhouses also had the will to kill Lin Feng. Listed Lin Feng as a must-see eye. In the valley, it seemed that he had sensed the murderous gaze of the powerful Enide clan. Lin Feng raised his head and glanced at each other lightly. Due to the distance, it was difficult to see the eyes of the other party. But Lin Feng already felt the killing intent. After awakening the true meaning and needing such a strong true meaning, he is very sensitive to such things as killing intent. 830, wanna kill me? Lin Feng didn't care. Aliens and humans are mortal enemies. This time, Lin Feng's performance was so dazzling. Almost single-handedly, the geniuses of these aliens were killed. Add to that his terrifying growth rate. If these aliens don't want to kill Lin Feng, it's not normal. The strength of the opponent, although powerful. But here, it is not enough for these alien kings to kill him. As for getting out of here, Lin Feng is no longer afraid. If the alien king wants to kill him, he must first break the Sioux city. Around Lin Feng, all the genius evolutionaries gathered around. One by one looked at Lin Feng with incomparable admiration. In this world, strength is always the standard of the world. People with strength are welcome no matter where they are. Conversely, without strength, no matter what you do, you may not be able to attract the attention of others. Even other evolutionaries are true genius evolutionaries. In front of Lin Feng's evil spirits, all paled. Even Yan Kaianai is the same. Lin Feng's gaze turned to the surrounding evolutionaries. In this battle, none of the 100 genius evolutionaries on the human side died. The injured are still good, and many people's injuries are not minor. But as long as he didn't die, the injuries he suffered were all recoverable. Let's go, Lin Feng said lightly. The genius evolutionaries picked up their injured companions and walked towards the open area of the river valley. Above the valley, City Lord Hai and many kings and kings of aliens got together again. You won, the silver-eyed powerhouse said solemnly. City Lord Hai said, that's right, we won. This space crack belongs to you, the silver-eyed strong man said. Hai Ching Lord said, yes, this place belongs to us. The other king-level evolutionaries did not speak one by one. But everyone is ready to go. Once the aliens repent, they will all move out and start a war. However, the silver-eyed powerhouse does not seem to have any intention of going back. The other king-level aliens, although depressed, still can't see the meaning of repentance. It's not wise to go back on it. Just to go back on it, these guys will not attack now. Because of the repentance, the backlash of the Blood Pact will inevitably cause the 6 alien king-level combat power to be greatly reduced. Once the fight begins, the disadvantage of the aliens will be huge. Less than 6 kings. At that time, the aliens are likely to be defeated again, and they will suffer heavy losses. Open the van, let's go to collect the corpses for the clan and leave. The silver-eyed strong man said. It is good. Sea City Lord agreed. Many king-level powerhouses shot at the same time, and soon, the ban on the river valley was opened. After the blockade was opened, the silver-eyed powerhouse waved his hand. On the other side of the river valley, some aliens above the 7th rank flew down to collect the corpses for the alien genius. At the same time, the flying boat on the human side also flew down. Let's go. 35. The silver-eyed powerhouse took a deep look at City Lord High, then turned around and left. The other alien kings also turned around and left. Seeing this, the human king who had been vigilant all breathed a sigh of relief. These guys, this time, they are sensible and they must let them out of this place so readily. It's useless for them to go back on it, who asked them to sign a blood contract with us. Yes, I really dare to go back and destroy him. In the rear, several human kings were talking in small pieces there. Just when these human kings breathed a sigh of relief. Sudden, the silver-eyed powerhouse, who was only halfway there, turned into a ray of light and launched a terrifying attack, rushing towards Lin Feng's location. This guy moves too fast. However, this guy just moved, and City Lord Hai stopped him. Tian-chan, what do you mean? Do you want to go back on it? There is anger on the face of Hai Changzu. Mercury-eyed guy, what do you mean, ready to go back on it? I knew that you guys couldn't afford to lose, so you actually did a sneak attack. If you want to go back on it, go as soon as possible and fight now. Who is afraid of who? The king-level evolutionaries behind the Sea City Master also shouted. Hearing the human king calling him Mercury-eye, this strong Silver-Eye clan's eyes were full of anger. This guy is about to collapse. The calm before was because he thought everything was under control. Who would have thought that as soon as the war started, they would be defeated so badly? Not only did they lose, but each of the 3 clans also lost dozens of their best geniuses. This makes this silver-eyed powerhouse. How can it collapse? Hey, the sun, my clan will kill you. After the silver-eyed strong man left the clan's words, he turned around and left. Soon, the people of these 3 races withdrew from this battlefield. City Lord, they evacuated the space crack. Soon, an evolutionary flew back to report. Send someone to look at the entrance of the space crack and pay attention to the movements of aliens at any time. Sea City Lord instructed. Yes, the evolver has left. Only then did City Lord Hai look at Lin Feng. Lin Feng, it's all thanks to you this time. The other king-level evolutionaries are here. Haha, Lin Feng, this battle is so enjoyable. It's the most enjoyable one I've seen. Well done, Lin Feng, you are much more powerful than I was back then. The king-level evolvers kept praising Lin Feng one by one. After all, these king-level evolutionaries have changed their ways and praised Lin Feng for a long time. City Lord Hai finally spoke up. We have to hurry up. Within a month, this space crack must be emptied. Evacuate within a month? The other king-level evolutionaries nodded. On the other hand, Yan Kaney was a little puzzled. Father, why? 39. Hai Ching Lord said, the maximum effect of the blood contract is only 1 month, more than 1 month, although it still works, but the power of backlash is not so strong. With their strength, it is completely bearable. The blood contract is the contract made by the king-level evolutionary with blood essence. A king-level evolutionary was afraid that Lin Feng and Yan Kaney would not understand, so he explained it again. Hai Ching Lord said again, in addition, after a month, the battle between these 3 clans and the Tianmu clan will probably come to an end. At that time, they will be able to recruit more people and they will definitely make a comeback. Therefore, this month, we must evacuate this place. After listening to the words of City Lord Hai, Lin Feng understood. City Lord Su sighed and said to Lin Feng, "Actually, if these space cracks can be kept forever, the value is not small. It is easy to defend and difficult to attack, and the spiritual energy is sufficient, but there is no way. We are still at a disadvantage as a whole. Let's start moving, Lin Feng. This time you have the most credit. The benefits promised you will not be less than 1 point from you. The specific distribution ratio. After I discuss with many city owners, I will give you a promise. How about it?" City Lord Hai looked at Lin Feng and said. Lin Feng agreed. So, in this space crack, all the people took action. They want to evacuate this space crack within a month. Naturally, it is not to move everything, but to move all the valuable things away. Lin Feng returned to City Lord Su's Baisai flying boat. City Lord Su is not here. Ling Qingqiu is back. Soon, City Lord Su also returned. Lin Feng, after negotiating, you account for 80% and others account for 20%. That is to say, you can monopolize 8% of all the harvests in this space crack. 5. City Lord Su said happily. 8% of all harvests in the space rift? This ratio is also very good. Among the 100 evolutionaries, Lin Feng alone accounts for 80%, which is already enough. Lin Feng's contribution was naturally the greatest, but in that battle, other people also played a role. Therefore, this ratio, in Lin Feng's view, is okay. Lin Feng, do you want to go back to Sioux City or here? If you want to go back to Sioux City, I'll take you back first, but I suggest that you can go here first and explore this space crack together. The main road of Sioux City. Lin Feng thought for a while and said, City Lord, I'll be right here. 35. City Lord Su said, okay. Soon. All the evolutionaries have joined in the project of evacuating this space rift. Lin Feng also joined in. This space crack is too big. In a month, if you walk with your feet, it is almost impossible to walk from one end to the other. The evolutionaries of several cities and groups are looking for something of value everywhere. The king-level evolutionaries are flying around, looking around. Haha, there is a spirit stone mine here. Soon, a king-level evolutionary found a spirit stone mine. When the crowd rushed over, many king-level evolutionaries worked together to blast away a mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, there are a large number of spirit stone mines. Let's distribute the spirit stone mine on the spot. A city master suggested. It is good. The other city lords agreed. Soon, this spiritual stone mine was distributed proportionally. Lin Feng got a very large piece. This piece is more than 10 times larger than what Lin Feng obtained in that space crack before. This is not cut. Lin Feng, there are a lot of middle-level spirit stones in this spirit stone mine. You can cut them yourself. If you use them yourself, you don't need to cut them so small. Our spirit stones are very small, and there is nothing you can do. 99. City Lord Su said to Lin Feng. Lin Feng, the standard spirit stone cut by aliens, one piece is 10 times the size of ours. These turtle sons, they are so extravagant when they rob us of our things. 99. A king-level evolutionary also said. This king-level evolutionary seems to be the subordinate of City Lord Su. Is there such a thing? The spirit stones in the spirit stone mine are naturally a whole. Now the spirit stones traded between evolutionaries are basically cut into the same size. A tiny piece. Lin Feng thought that the aliens were the same size. Unexpectedly, the standard spirit stones used by these aliens are 10 times the size of the human side. It is estimated that there is no way for humans to cut them into smaller pieces. After all, resources are limited. Lin Feng, you have performed so well this time, but you have to be more careful in the future. These aliens will definitely regard you as a serious problem. 35. The king-level evolutionary continued. After he finished speaking, he looked at Lin Feng and said in a tone of advice, in addition, you must also be careful about other forces. You have not joined the forces, you are growing so fast, and the harvest is so great this time. There is no guarantee that no one will attack you. Thought. Lin Feng nodded slightly. Although human beings deal with aliens together, there is not necessarily no competition between cities. In addition, among the various forces, it is not necessarily that there is no careful thought. Everyone is selfish. Infighting is human nature. Lin Feng knows this better than anyone else. Lin Feng, I suggest you join the City Lord's mansion. I know you like freedom, but the City Lord will not restrain you. The City Lord has 3 daughters. Which one do you like? Tell the City Lord, as long as you become the City Lord's son-in-law, who will you? Dare to touch you? When the king-level evolutionary said this, he turned his words and said again. This is probably his ultimate goal. I want to persuade Lin Feng to join the City Lord's mansion. And this should also be what City Lord Su meant. In the past few days, City Lord Su has been creating opportunities for Lin Feng and Lang Qingqiu, and looking at Lin Feng's eyes is also a standard old man looking at his son-in-law. Lin Feng can't not notice. However, although City Lord Su treats Lin Feng very well and Lang Qingqiu is also good, Lin Feng has no plans to get married yet. He's still so young. Moreover, Lin Feng's strength was a little weaker after all. No matter how talented, if you don't have enough strength, that's just a genius. Not the strong one. Genius only represents a potential, that is only the future. Before he grows up, he is still just a genius after all. If he is now married to Lang Qingqiu and joins the City Lord's mansion, then he is relying on others. Not to mention, Lin Feng knew. I can grow so fast, relying on my unprecedented portable space. Therefore, Lin Feng said, Thank you, seniorly, for your love. I have no plans to marry at the moment. I'll talk about it later. 5. Seeing Lin Feng's refusal, the king-level evolutionary didn't talk about it. Lin Feng took this large piece of spirit stone into it. When he entered the space, Lin Feng found that if this piece of spirit stone was cut according to the standard of human beings, there were more than 100,000 elementary spirit stones, plus nearly 1,000 intermediate spirit stones. That spirit stone mine is really big enough. According to the proportion of Lin Feng's share, if all the total spiritual stones in it are converted into primary spiritual stones, there are probably 3 or 4 million pieces. After obtaining the spirit stone this time, Lin Feng's number of spirit stones is quite large. There are hundreds of thousands of elementary spirit stones. Counting the intermediate-level spirit stones given by the previous king-level evolutionists, the total amount is nearly 3,000. These 3,000 intermediate spirit stones are the most precious. In addition, Lin Feng also has a high-grade spirit stone. Except for the on-site distribution of the spirit stone mine, other things were packed in some huge portable spaces, waiting to be distributed uniformly. The various city lords have dispatched personnel to supervise each other, but no one is hiding it. Lin Feng followed the exploration during the day and entered the space at night. After possessing so many spiritual stones all at once, Lin Feng did not sting and crushed a large number of spiritual stones every day. The aura content in the entire space has reached an astonishing level. Under such spiritual thoughts, coupled with the acceleration of space, the evolution of plants and animals in the entire space is rich and rapid. More and more spiritual plants have progressed from primary spiritual plants to intermediate spiritual plants. Advanced spiritual plants are also beginning to appear. In addition, a large number of flowers gave birth to spiritual consciousness. The flame after the transformation, Wu is also getting stronger and stronger. She absorbs a lot of Reiki every day. Rose has also transformed. On this day, after turning on the acceleration, Lin Feng found that Qiangwei also learned to transform. Originally, Qiangwei didn't think about changing shape. But after Taoao transformed, Lin Feng went to ask Qiangwei if she could, and Qiangwei started to learn. Now, she has finally learned. After the transformation, Qiangwei turned into a woman in a red dress that looked charming and charming. She doesn't have Taoao's charm, but she looks more gorgeous. Owner. Rose also has a very nice fragrance. Like the scent of roses. Refreshing. It didn't take long for Rose to change shape at first. However, as long as she transforms, she will pick a few pieces of tea leaves from the tea tree on the hill and make a cup of tea for Lin Feng when Lin Feng sits and rests. That tea tree has already evolved into a spiritual plant. This kind of tea, after drinking, can be very refreshing and has a very good effect on the recovery of spiritual power. Brother, try it. In the space, Tao gave Lin Feng a petal. Lin Feng solidified this petal with the curing talent and then activated this petal. A sword light slashed out. This power. Lin Feng felt the power in the sword light and showed a happy expression. Think about it. Lin Feng took out the little sword given by Lang Qingqiu again. In that little sword, there was a blow from her master. Then, Lin Feng inspired Xiaojian. Tao also inspired the petals. In the small sword, the sword light rushed out. In the petals, the sword light also rushed out. The two sword lights collided. Then I saw that the sword light in the small sword dimmed, and it was suddenly cut off by the sword light in the petals. In the petals, the sword light copied by Tao has surpassed the little sword given by Lang Qingqiu. The power should have reached the 9th order level. Lin Feng speculated. Tao nodded. Yes, brother, I'll try some more time, and after I'm familiar with it, I should be able to reproduce the power equivalent to the king level with the high-level spirit stone given by my brother. King class. If Tao Yao's re-engraved broken sword light can reach the level of a king, then Lin Feng also has an extra trump card that can threaten the king. Okay, Tao Yao. Lin Feng subconsciously stretched out his hand and touched Tao Yao's small head. This action, Lin Feng often does to Tong Tong, has become accustomed to it. Tao was killed by Lin Feng's head touching, and her pretty face immediately turned red. Now, her body has solidified a lot. Her hair feels very real to the touch. Although Tao blushed, she did not resist. On the contrary, she was a little happy. Brother, I will continue to forge. Tao Yao said. 99. In the portable space, Lin Feng spent another 400 spirit stones after exhausting the free 5 hours a day, which accelerated by 2 hours. Now that there are more spirit stones, a small amount of spirit stones can be consumed to increase the acceleration time. There is no need to add too much. Adding too much is also a waste of spirit stones. Counting the 2 hours spent on Lingshi, Lin Feng's daily acceleration time was exactly 7 hours. Accelerates exactly at night. 7 hours, 30 times acceleration, accelerated to 210 hours, nearly 9 days. The next morning, Lin Feng could go out for activities. In this way, every day Lin Feng's cultivation time is equivalent to 9 days. The progress is still very fast. In this way, Lin Feng followed the large army to explore during the day. Speed up on a flying boat at night. In general, the trace points in the portable space cannot be located on moving objects. For example, when taking a car, place the anchor point inside the car. The car is fine when stationary. Once the car is moving, the anchor point will not follow the car. However, it is possible on the flying boat of City Lord Su. There is a special spiritual formation inside, which allows the entire flying boat to follow after Lin Feng's anchor is put down. This kind of flying boat is very good. There are also some spiritual arrays that can be used for defense, which have a certain defensive power. This space crack is indeed quite rich. Lingshi mines were discovered one after another. Then it is assigned. Lin Feng's harvest is also increasing. With the help of these spirit stones, Lin Feng's spatial aura was further increased. His strength is also constantly increasing. In such an exploration, time flies by quickly. In the blink of an eye, a week has passed. A week has passed, And in Lin Feng's space, the spirit stones have piled up into a hill. Now, Tong Tong and Xiaoxue can eat the intermediate spirit stones every day. Of course, eating spirit stones alone is definitely not enough. They also eat a lot of spiritual fruit every day. Lin Feng also finally realized it so that Tong Tong can eat openly without worrying about being eaten by her. A little bit. After this week has passed, Lin Feng always feels that there is still one line left. So, in the daytime, Lin Feng found some 7th-order Thunder Genius evolutionaries and began to learn from each other. Seeing that the genius Lin Feng took the initiative to ask for a discussion, the other party was naturally willing. The more than 1,000 geniuses who followed to explore the space also watched one by one. Boom! Lin Feng and the 7th-order genius evolutionary blasted each other with thunder. You can come and go. With Lin Feng's strength at the peak of the 6th rank, he can still face Wang Ping of the 7th rank. His accomplishments in thunder have probably already stepped into the 7th rank. Yeah, Lin Feng's progress is too fast. The current Lin Feng is the first genius of our 5 cities. Around, the genius evolutionaries watching the game discussed while watching. Boom! Finally, after Lin Feng's thunder blast, the heart of thunder in the body changed again. On his body, in an instant, the thunder light shot into the sky. In terms of the power of the thunder system, Lin Feng has officially entered the 7th order. He broke through. Seeing Lin Feng breaking through like this, the surrounding genius evolutionaries are also envious. He's overtaken me all over the place. In the crowd, Ling Qingqiu thought silently. When I first met Lin Feng's strength was comparable to hers. However, it didn't take long. Lin Feng's strength has already surpassed that of Ling Qingqiu in an all-round way. However, Lin Feng's sword intent also gave Ling Qingqiu some inspiration. Ling Qingqiu feels that it won't take long before she can break through to the 7th rank. In the crowd, Yan Kaney's gaze towards Lin Feng was also exceptionally bright. Lin Feng, I also want to learn from you. Yan Kaney said. It is good. Lin Feng agreed. Yan Kaney's strength is only at the early stage of the 6th order. So, Lin Feng used a new power. The power of water. Lin Feng's strength in the water system has also quietly reached the level equivalent to the 6th order. In the water system, Lin Feng did not put much thought into it. His progress is more dependent on the backfeeding of the White Lotus and the enhancement brought by the mutant lotus seeds. Yes, after the transformation, Taoyao, Baihe, and Qiangwei were able to give Lin Feng back. Adding Huowu now will also be able to feed Lin Feng back. After giving birth to spiritual consciousness and being able to transform, they are already life. Yan Kaney's power is fire, which can be used to train her water power. So, this time, Lin Feng challenged with the power of the water element and fought with Yan Kaney for a long time. I didn't expect that he also mastered the power of the water system. Yeah, I don't know how he cultivated. He has mastered so many powers, and every kind of power is not low. 35. 66. The genius evolutionaries around are also admiring each and every one of them. To Lin Feng, these genius evolutionaries are also completely convinced. It's so fun. 35. After the fight with Lin Feng, Yan Kai and I felt very enjoyable. In this way, Lin Feng's daily life remains extremely fulfilling. At night, I accelerated for 7 hours and practiced silently for 210 hours in the space. Of course, at the end of the practice, Lin Feng will usually go to sleep after getting enough sleep before leaving the room. During the day, generally follow the exploration. From time to time, I also learn from other genius evolutionaries. So, another week has passed. That's it. On this day, Lin Feng opened his eyes. Around him, the air could not help making some sharp sounds. It was as if it had been shattered by countless fierce sword intents. Lin Feng's temperament has undergone some changes. After 2 weeks, finally, sword intent broke through again. From the middle stage of the transformation level, it once came to the late stage of the transformation stage. Late stage. This further improved Lin Feng's combat power. Sword intent in the middle stage of transformation, even if you don't use the first sight trick, just relying on sword intent. The 7th order can't stop it, and it is a great threat to the 8th order. The sword intent in the late stage of transformation has gone a step further. Waiting for the 8th rank, there is no way to stop it. If you use First Sight, the power will only be greater. Unconsciously, Lin Feng's strength has risen to a new level. Consolidate. Lin Feng began to consolidate. At the same time, he wants to combine the sword intent in the later stage of transformation with the First Sight to make his move more powerful. This step also takes a lot of time. It's a bit difficult to create another move. Lin Feng whispered. Although the power of the sword intent in the later stage of transformation has greatly increased, if you want to use this sword intent to create another move, it is still quite difficult. That is to say, now Lin Feng has the sword intent of the later stage of transformation. And the sword technique he deduced according to the sword intent still has only one move. Lin Feng was not in a hurry. One move, one move. His sword intent has the sharpness and domineering of the sword intent of the supreme power on Broken Sword. At the same time, it also incorporates some characteristics of Thunder sword intent, plus his own understanding. His sword intent is also extremely sharp. It can be said to be fast, ruthless, and extremely fierce. Lin Feng began to consolidate his sword intent. In the space, half a month has passed, and the changes are not small. Tao is still re-engraving the sword light of the strongest. During this process, Lin Feng found that her own progress was not small. The time for Tao to transform into shape is getting longer and longer. The body became more and more solid, and the feeling to Lin Feng became more and more real. Boom! A large mountain was once again blasted open by a large number of king-level evolutionaries. During this process, Lin Feng silently observed. The strength of these king-level evolutionaries is indeed powerful. However, compared to Broken Sword, the sword light of that supreme powerhouse is far inferior. A sword cut through a 1,000-meter-high mountain. Such strength is terrifying to know. Even with hundreds of nuclear bombs, it is impossible to blow up a kilometer-high mountain. This shows that the strength of the strongest is probably still above the king level. Lin Feng is not very clear about the specific division of king-level strength. But there should be some distinction. There is still a big gap between the ordinary king level and the various city lords. And the strength of each city lord is not the same. Like the Sea City Lord, he is the strongest among the various city lords. Lin Feng did not ask about the specific division of king-level strength. Asking now is pointless. He only needs to know the general level of the king level. When he himself reaches the king level, then all doubts will naturally be solved. Haha, there is actually a spiritual spring. Xialinquin, it's not bad. After blasting the mountain, not only was there a huge spiritual stone mine below, but a spiritual spring was also discovered in the center of the spiritual stone mine. This is the first time Lin Feng has seen Lingguan. It looks like a mouthful of spring water. Spiritual energy came out continuously from the inside. Such a spiritual spring can be removed. You only need to remove everything within a few dozen meters of the Lingguan, and you can remove this Lingguan. City Lord Su explained to Lin Feng. City Lord, where does the spiritual spring lead? Why can the spiritual energy be continuously generated? Ask for flowers. Lin Feng couldn't help but be curious. City Lord Su said, I don't know. No one has opened the spiritual spring to look for it. The spiritual spring is too precious. This spiritual spring is the first one we have found. The first bite? City Lord Su said, most of the spiritual springs are actually not in the cracks in space, where the spiritual energy recovered. These spiritual springs appeared on the Earth star, but they were all taken away by the aliens. Lin Feng understood. The North strength is stronger, and a big reason is that they have captured a mouthful of spiritual spring, but a mouthful of spiritual spring can't actually satisfy so many strong people. City Lord Su explained to Lin Feng very carefully. Although the Lingguan was discovered, there was some controversy as to which city the small Lingguan was placed in. The king-level evolutionary of Haicheng felt that it should be placed in the most powerful Haicheng. The king-level evolutionary of Lake City felt that it should be placed in the center of the 5 cities, the most central Lake City. The king-level evolutionary of Suching felt that the space crack could be obtained mainly due to Lin Feng, and Lin Feng was from Suching and should be placed in Suching. The king-level evolutionary of the city also has something to say. Seeing the final ownership of Ling Quan caused some controversy, Lin Feng did not participate in it. Lin Feng didn't expect to get this mouthful of spiritual spring. Such a precious thing, it is impossible for these city masters to release it. He only needs to be able to get the spiritual stone that belongs to him. Finally, the attribution of Ling Quan was determined. In the end, under the coordination of an elder of the Evolutionary Alliance, Ling Quan was placed in Haicheng. But Haicheng also made some concessions in other aspects. These things did not affect Lin Feng. There are a lot of them in this huge spiritual stone mine. Because of the existence of Ling Quan, the total output of Lingshire in this Lingshire mine exceeds 10 million pieces. 0. Moreover, at the center, there are also intermediate and high-level spiritual stones. After the final allocation, the share that Lin Feng got is also incomparable. There are more than 1 million pieces of low-level spirit stones alone. There are also thousands of intermediate spirit stones, and more than a dozen high-level spirit stones. The harvest is great. In Lin Feng's space, spirit stones are piled up into mountains. It can be said, these spiritual stones on this trip should be enough for Lin Feng and Tong Tong to grow up to the king level. After this spiritual stone mine has been dug out, it will be a month, not a few days. The army continued to move. Brother, it's all right. On this day, after more than 20 days of trying, Tao finally succeeded in re-engraving the sword light that could threaten the king. She gave Lin Feng a petal. This petal, in the outside world, can only be used once. Spent a high-level spirit stone. Lin Feng took the petals and felt that the petals contained destructive energy. Once fired, this petal will emit an extremely sharp sword light. That sword light is equivalent to putting a broken sword on it, and the sword light of the strongest is reduced to the level of a king. Tao, you did a good job. Lin Feng touched Tao's little head. Tao was touched by Lin Feng, still a little shy. A few more days passed. I have to go back. I am afraid that the aliens will have another change. Sea City Lord said solemnly. It's not yet a month. But Sea City Lord decided to go back early. In the past 20 days, this space crack, strictly speaking, has not been evacuated. There are some areas that have not been searched. But no way, it's too big here. The biggest gain has been taken. The aliens are likely to violate the blood contract and make a comeback. Now, the most important thing is to bring back the harvest of this trip. Yes, we have to go back. Then distribute the other gains. Many city masters quickly made a decision. It also took a full day to distribute other harvests. In the end, all allocations are done. What Lin Feng wants is pure. Some miscellaneous things, such as some materials that can be used to make psionic weapons, Lin Feng did not want. He just wanted a few things. Spirit stone, spirit plant, spirit earth. These are the most useful things for Lin Feng. In this space crack, the number of spiritual soil is also quite large. Basically, in the mountain where the large spiritual stone mine is located, some of the soil below it has become spiritual soil. The number is very large. The portable space of some evolutionaries is filled with spiritual soil. After the final allocation is made, Lin Feng took stock. This trip, his harvest is too great. The harvest of spirit stones is enormous. There are 3.8 million low-level spiritual stones in total. There are a total of 20,000 intermediate spirit stones. There are a total of 120 high-level spirit stones. Even if these spirit stones were all exchanged for low-level spirit stones, it would still be more than 8 million spirit stones. According to Lin Feng's distribution ratio, that is to say, the total number of spirit stones found in this space crack, converted into low-level spirit stones, has exceeded 100 million. In addition to spirit stones, there are also hundreds of spirit plants. Spiritual soil is the most. Lin Feng got nearly 100,000 tons of spiritual soil all at once. With so much spiritual soil, there is enough space for Lin Feng to spread a layer. The current area of Lin Feng's space is 480,000 square meters, and it is completely possible to spread several square meters with 1 ton of spiritual soil. The thickness of the paving is quite thick. This trip can be said to be full of harvest work. In addition to these gains, Lin Feng has another gain this month. This month, Lin Feng not only made great progress in sword intent. Other powers have also made great progress, especially the power of thunder. Lin Feng asked Su Cheng to lead a few 7th and 8th order evolutionaries from the Thunder Department and spent a lot of time with him every day during the day. Under the sparring of these 7th and 8th order Thunder System evolutionaries, plus the bonus of Lin Feng's cultivation in space, Lin Feng's thunder power has broken into the 8th rank in one fell swoop. Breaking into the 8th rank this time is a breakthrough in space, and no one knows yet. All in all, this month is a month in which Lin Feng has achieved great results. Harvest is distributed. All of them are going to start their journey back. Lin Feng, remember to contact me. Yan Kai and I said to Lin Feng. Lin Feng and me. And me, don't forget me. Lin Feng, I want to go to Suching with you. 6. A lot of girls were reluctant to part with Lin Feng. This month, Lin Feng accelerated in the space at night. It's basically out during the day. These girls often come to Lin Feng. There are also some geniuses who often come to Lin Feng to learn from each other. They're all familiar with each other. Lin Feng is such a monster. And so handsome. Moreover, Lin Feng has a cold temperament because he doesn't like talking to others very much. These are all deeply infatuated with those girls. Many girls from other cities thought of going to Sioux City one by one. 830. Of course, they all joined different forces. Their families are also in different cities. It is naturally impossible to go to Sioux City. Although there are exchanges between cities, they are not much. So, seems to be parting. These girls are very reluctant to give up to Lin Feng. Lin Feng, thanks to the discussion with you this month, I have already broken through the 8th order. Do you want us to have another discussion? 35. At this time, a genius evolutionary said. 8th grade. Hearing his words, other genius evolutionaries looked at him one after another. This genius evolutionary is called Raymond. Is a genius evolutionary in the city. Raymond is 25 years old. Of course, not bone age. Counting the bone age, he was already in his 30s. However, his strength is formidable. It was originally the 7th order peak. Originally, he was also the strongest of the previous batch of genius evolutionaries. Who would have thought that after measuring the bone age, it was brushed down? In this month, he had a lot of discussions with Lin Feng. Lin Feng fights him with thunder every time. Coincidentally, he is also a thunder evolutionary. Lin Feng's realm in the thunder element is clearly not as good as his. But every time, I can find equals with him. Even once playing for a long time, he will not fall into the disadvantage. This made him admire Lin Feng, but also very depressed. Depression is depression. This, by month, Raymond's progress is also great. Under Lin Feng's oppression, Raymond practiced diligently every day. Finally, breaking through the 8th order in one fell swoop. After breaking through the 8th rank, Raymond wanted to take advantage of the last chance to raise his eyebrows. Certainly. He also knew, with his rank 8 strength, even if he wins against Lin Feng, he won't be able to win. But he just wanted to win. After all, this month, I was really depressed by Lin Feng. You're already at the 8th level, Lin Feng's lightning power is only at the 7th level, and you are still challenging Lin Feng, which is not acceptable. 5. A girl quits immediately. Yan Kai and I also said, yeah, wait for Lin Feng to come back to the 8th level. 99. The other girls also started talking nonsense one by one. Raymond blushed slightly. But Lin Feng pondered for a while, then agreed, okay. Thanks. Raymond said gratefully. Although Lin Feng is much younger than him, he really admires Lin Feng. Seeing that he is rank 8, Lin Feng still hasn't avoided the battle. You must know that if a genius like Lin Feng loses, he will likely be demoralized. Seeing that Lin Feng agreed, the girls also stopped talking. I am coming. After Raymond finished speaking, he entered the state of battle. Lightning flashed from his body. You go all out. Lin Feng said lightly. All out? Raymond was originally afraid of hurting Lin Feng, but he heard Lin Feng's in different words. It seems that Lin Feng has something to rely on. Then go all out. Raymond slammed, sending out a terrifying arc. The energy level in this arc is too high, and there is already a faint purple light. Purple arc. More power. Inside, I am afraid it also contains other powers that he has figured out. Seeing that Raymond launched an attack, Lin Feng's hand moved, and an electric arc struck out. But his arc was no other color, still blue-white. It seems that the inside is composed of electric currents with terribly high voltages. Boom! The two arcs collided. If Lin Feng's arc strength is not enough, he will be instantly defeated. However, with this blow, Raymond was horrified to discover that his arc was madly hit and then collapsed. 8th order. How come you are 8th order? Raymond found out. Lin Feng is also rank 8. In terms of the power of the Thunder system, Lin Feng has reached the 8th rank so quickly. To know, 3 weeks ago, Lin Feng's Thunder power had only broken through the 7th rank. So fast, actually. It's 8th grade. How can that be? Simply incredible. Wow! Hearing Raymond's words, the other genius evolutionaries were in an uproar. All the girls, including Ling Qingqiu and Yan Caney, could not help but light up. 8th grade. Lin Feng reached the 8th level so soon? On the other side, City Lord Su, who said goodbye to City Lord Hai, and the others also heard it. Haha, this is called genius. 8th order. It's from 7th order to 8th order in a month. Looking at Lin Feng, suddenly a handful of old people lived on a dog. Looking at it this way, Lin Feng is very likely to break through the king level before he is 25 years old. Are you reaching king level before you're 25? Hi, 35. 66. The king level evolutionaries were also shocked one by one. Indeed, Lin Feng is making progress. Too big. They finally know. Why does Lin Feng grow up so fast? Although Lin Feng most likely used the acceleration space. But within a month, from the peak of the 6th order, it broke through to the 7th order, and then broke through to the 8th order in one fell swoop. This speed is simply amazing. This is still Lin Feng's thunder power. Some king-level evolutionists feel that Lin Feng's sword intent may also have a breakthrough. Even the king-level evolutionaries were shocked. The geniuses who watched the battle were even more shocked. Lin Feng's lightning power reached the 8th rank, which is indeed a bit too amazing. Although, it is still the early stage of the 8th order. Boom! Finally, Raymond blocked Lin Feng's attack. When they reached the 8th rank, Raymond quickly found out. It's all at the beginning of the 8th stage. He actually still can't beat Lin Feng. However, Raymond also made up his mind to have a good fight. Then, he kept attacking. Lin Feng also tried his best to fight with him. After playing for more than 10 minutes, Raymond finally couldn't stand it anymore. Seeing that Lin Feng's thunder light was about to hurt him, the moment Lin Feng's hand moved, the thunder light missed. Thank you for keeping your hands. 35. Raymond felt it. This time, he lost again, but this time he had a good time. For Lin Feng, he was completely convinced. Wow, Lin Feng, you're amazing. 95. Lin Feng, you are so handsome. Lin Feng. Soon, Lin Feng was surrounded by a bunch of girls. These girls are obviously older than Lin Feng, but in front of Lin Feng, they seem to be little girls. The other genius evolutionaries looked envious and had to be convinced. This battle before the separation is destined to leave a deep impression on these genius evolutionaries. Soon, the name of Lin Feng will spread in these 5 cities in the east. Everyone, it's good to go. Lin Feng said goodbye to everyone. Under the reluctant eyes of many girls, they boarded the flying boat in Sucheng. P.S. Ask for a monthly pass. It is estimated that there will be movements in the next 2 days for the aliens. Let's all go back. In the space crack, the voice of the Sea City Lord sounded. It is good. The other city lords nodded. Now, almost a month has passed since the space crack was taken down. The aliens soon made a move. This time, although this space crack could not be completely emptied, the harvest of each faction has been quite good. The most important thing is to bring these harvests back to your own city. All go into space, leaving only one flying boat outside. All cities made arrangements. The army of evolutionists in these cities brought a lot of flying boats. However, soon, these flying boats were sent into some portable spaces with area talents. Then, the evolutionary army entered these portable spaces. In this way, it can be lightweight on the road. Once there is a war, it can come out quickly. Finally, the evolutionary army of each city has been reduced to a small number of spaces. Then, in each city, there is only one flying boat left. Still outside, basically only the king-level evolutionary is left. The 6 flying boats started their return journey. It's a pity that no ancient ruins were found. Yes, there are no relics in this space, otherwise there might be some treasures. 55. 66. Some king-level evolutionaries have some regrets. Soon, the 6 flying boats had already flown out of the space crack. After the flying boat flew out of the space crack, it did not separate, but joined together and continued to fly in the southeast direction. This is to avoid being attacked by aliens while on the road. After flying a lot of distance all the way to the southeast. Finally, the flying boats began to separate, heading for their respective cities. Lin Feng, you have gained a lot from this trip alone, and there are probably a lot of jealous people. Next, I suggest you stay in the city and not go out. On the flying boat, City Lord Su said to Lin Feng. In fact, he really wanted to invite Lin Feng to the City Lord's mansion. However, this month, he also learned about Lin Feng's sexuality and knew that Lin Feng would probably not go. Therefore, City Lord Su didn't do anything unnecessary so as not to leave a strong impression on Lin Feng. But he has decided to send someone to protect Lin Feng secretly. At the same time, he also decided to let Ling Qingqiu contact Lin Feng more. In case Lin Feng doesn't like Ling Qingqiu. Doesn't he still have 2 daughters? I will thank the mayor for your concern. Lin Feng said. This trip, Lin Feng's harvest, is indeed very big. Although the harvest of each city is also great, the harvest of these cities must also be distributed to many forces. As far as personal gains are concerned, Lin Feng is bigger than anyone else. No one would have an opinion, because it wasn't Lin Feng, they couldn't take this space crack at all. Not to mention, Lin Feng has been admired by a large number of king-level evolutionaries. City Lord Su's attitude was more like taking Lin Feng as a son-in-law. But the human mind is complex. In a short period of time, no one will think of Lin Feng's idea. After a long time, when others saw that Lin Feng was still alone, he did not join any forces, nor did he become the son-in-law of City Lord Su. It is impossible to guarantee that you will be thinking. Not to mention, the aliens have already had the will to kill Lin Feng. The flying boat quickly flew towards Su City. Next to City Lord Su, Ling Qingqiu glanced at Lin Feng from time to time. This month, she spent a lot of time with Lin Feng. As soon as they return to Su City, I am afraid they will be separated. Coming. In a short while, the distance from Su City was less than 300 kilometers. This distance, for the flying boat, does not take too long. But this time, sudden. City Lord Su noticed something. Be careful. On some flying boats, the guarding king-level evolutionaries shot at the same time. Boom. A large number of attacks were blocked. But around, a huge transparent cover appeared, covering the area where the flying boat was located. It looks like a transparent bubble. Oh, the response is quick. In the sky, a silver-eyed clansman appeared. Immediately afterwards, in front of the flying boat, more people from the Silver Eyes appeared. Not only the Silver Eyes. All around, there are Tianting people and Injia people. These people exude a terrifying aura. Impressively, no one is below the 9th order. Among them, there are a large number of kings. City Lord Su's face changed. Qingqiu, enter my space. Hurry up. The main road of Su City. Ling Qingqiu glanced at Lin Feng, didn't speak, and went straight into the space of City Lord Su. You guys also come in. City Lord Su looked at several evolutionaries again. These evolutionaries are evolutionaries with area talent in the portable space. The evolutionary army of Su City is in their space. Following the order of City Lord Su, these evolutionaries also entered his space one after another. This time, the only ones still on the flying boat were City Lord Su, the king-level evolutionary under Su City's command, and Lin Feng. At this time, in the sky, the tyrannical Silver Eyes powerhouse has appeared. Not only that, in the space crack before, all the alien kings have appeared. These guys are actually ambushing a wave here. When he saw that the kings of the 3 clans had all appeared, City Lord Su's expression changed completely. Lin Feng, listen to me. Their goal this trip is most likely you, so I didn't let you into the space. Take it. This is the star-shifting talisman I found in an ancient ruin. If their target is you, you can use this talisman. I don't know the specific effect, but it will definitely take you away. City Lord Su quickly gave Lin Feng a sound transmission, and at the same time gave Lin Feng a talisman. I will break through with a king-level evolutionary. Only in this way can we all have hope of surviving. City Lord Su said quickly. Seeing such a big battle of aliens, he quickly made a guess. The target of these 3 clans is likely to be Lin Feng. The reason is simple. After the kings of the three clans appeared, their eyes did not look at him for the first time. Instead, he looked at Lin Feng. Moreover, it is not worthwhile for these three clans to rob City Lord Su now. Because a month has not yet come, the maximum effect of the blood contract has not yet passed. In the original blood pact, there was an agreement that the gains from ambush outside and touch the cracks in space would also be backfired. This agreement was originally used by the three clans to guard against humans. Now they are restraining themselves. In less than a month, the backlash of the blood pact will also greatly damage the strength of the 6 kings of the 3 clans. At that point, if City Lord Su brought his king rank and evolutionary army to fight back desperately, they would lose a lot. I didn't expect you to be a few days ahead of schedule. After the silver-eyed powerhouse appeared, his cruel eyes swept across Lin Feng and then turned to look at City Lord Su. As soon as he heard the words of this silver-eyed powerhouse, Lin Feng knew immediately. These people definitely had the intention of taking the opportunity to rob. He even wanted to take the opportunity to destroy City Lord Su and the evolutionaries under his command. Unexpectedly, human beings are not greedy, knowing that the maximum effect of the blood contract is only 1 month, so they gave up a few days of search and exploration and came out early. This disrupted the plan of the strong Imu clan. City Lord Su regained his composure and said, "Tian-chan, do you think so highly of me? Send out so many people." The silver-eyed powerhouse snorted softly. "I'm not here for you this time." His eyes looked at Lin Feng. "Boy, this time you won't be able to fly." City Lord Su stared at the silver-eyed powerhouse and said, "If you want to kill him, you have to pass through me first." 35. The eyes of the silver-eyed powerhouse turned to City Lord Su again. "If you insist on blocking, we will kill you, but it is not a violation of the blood contract." "Of course not." After City Master Su finished speaking, he suddenly sent a voice transmission to Lin Feng. "Lin Feng, it's now." Hearing the words of City Lord Su, Lin Feng did not hesitate and directly used City Lord Su's star-shifting talisman. Next second. Then he saw that a light enveloped Lin Feng and quickly rushed into the sky. This ray of light instantly broke through the band set by many alien kings and then rushed towards the west. "Quick, stop him." Many alien kings have taken action. "Break out with me." City Lord Su brought his king-level evolutionaries under him and slammed into the surrounding alien king-level bands. At this time, the Du's Wang Xing Xing Fu broke through the ban, and all the alien kings were attracted and wanted to intercept them. That ban was suddenly broken by City Lord Su and many king-level evolutionaries. City Lord Su and the king-level evolutionaries under his command rushed out. "Don't mind them, chase Lin Feng." The silver-eyed powerhouse watched City Lord Su and his subordinates escape, and although he was angry, he made a decisive decision. This time, he was indeed going to kill Lin Feng and City Lord Su again. Their king rank is several times that of City Lord Su. In his opinion, Lin Feng cannot escape. As for City Lord Su, if it is possible, even if he fights back against the blood pact, he will forcibly kill him. Who knew that City Lord Su was so decisive? I also gave Lin Feng a treasure that can break through many king-level bands. As a result, Lin Feng ran away. City Lord Su also took the opportunity to run away with someone. This guy didn't go after City Lord Su because City Lord Su and the king-level evolutionary were too fast to catch up, and they couldn't kill them in a short time. Once City Lord Su returns to Sioux City and joins forces with the powerhouses in Sioux City, they will not be able to defeat them in a short period of time. As soon as support from other cities arrived, they had to retreat. Therefore, they decisively chose to chase after Lin Feng. In the eyes of the silver-eyed powerhouses, Lin Feng's threat is even greater than that of City Lord Su. Must kill. Otherwise, maybe it won't be long before Lin Feng is another supreme powerhouse that gives them an incomparable headache. Even if you can't become a superpower in a short period of time and become a giant, it will be very fatal. Many alien kings flew quickly and rushed towards the flower that left with Lin Feng. Soon, they chased for hundreds of kilometers. However, the speed of that light was getting faster and faster, and after a while, it completely disappeared from their field of vision. Hateful. Seeing that the light completely disappeared, The anger in the eyes of the silver-eyed powerhouse was about to explode. His eyes slammed into a beam of light, shattering a hill below. This time, they had been in ambush there for several days, but not only did they not kill Lin Feng, but they were also run away by City Lord Su. It can be described as an empty bamboo basket. Where is this taking me? A random location. In the sky, the speed of that light is getting faster and faster. In the light, Lin Feng was enveloped by the light, but he could not feel any discomfort. This light is not only speeding up, but also changing color. Soon, it became an almost transparent color. This time, no one noticed at all. Below, the earth quickly swept past. Lin Feng didn't know where this light was going to take him. City Lord Su himself didn't know the effect of this star-shifting charm. But the effect is obviously not bad. Lin Feng came out successfully, and City Lord Su also broke through. Lin Feng also saw City Lord Su's breakthrough. I don't know how long it took to fly. Finally, the energy in that light seemed to be exhausted, and it slammed down. The earth is getting closer. Below, there seem to be countless mountains. It should be in the west. Combined with the direction of the Duzuangsing Xiaofu, Lin Feng thought. This area should be the mountain area in the west. Even City Lord Su did not know the situation in the east and west. In fact, not only in the west, but also the City Lord Su did not know much about the cities in the north and south. I only know an outline. For example, City Lord Su knew that the strength of the 830 cities in the north was stronger than the 5 cities in the east. More areas he doesn't know. Nor did he explore westward. How to explore? West of Su City, there are 3 kinds of aliens. In other areas, the number of aliens is also quite large. Ordinary evolutionaries send out, the possibility of death is too great. After all, on the territory of aliens, there are beasts everywhere. It is feasible to send a king-level evolutionist, but that is meaningless. It's useless to find out. What's more, the king-level evolutionary itself is precious, and one more, the city will be a bit safer. King-level evolvers are not absolutely invincible. What if they die outside? The earth keeps getting clearer. Finally, below, a cloud-shrouded mountain appeared. The transparent light brought Lin Feng down quickly. During this process, the light around Lin Feng became weaker and weaker. Finally, all the light disappeared. Lin Feng is still accelerating down. It looks like it's going to hit a mountain. On Lin Feng's body, thunder light appeared. The abrupt deceleration slowed down. After reaching the 7th level, you will be able to fly against thunder. Not to mention Lin Feng's power in the thunder element, which is now the 8th rank. Finally, Lin Feng stopped above the woods. Whoosh! A mutant viper attacked Lin Feng. Lin Feng used his finger as a sword, and he killed the poisonous snake with a single stroke of sword energy. This is where? After killing, Lin Feng looked around. This area is full of vast mountains. The trees are very tall. Reiki, still lacking. But it is better than the surrounding area of Su City. Lin Feng took out his phone and took a look. No signal. The phone has no signal. This area, I don't know how far it is from the Suching area. After observing for 4 weeks, he descended. This area may be the territory of aliens, so be careful. After Lin Feng descended, he opened the portable space and released Tong Tong. Meow. Tong Tong quickly killed all the small mutant animals that were hiding and preparing to attack. Lin Feng took a closer look and found that his arrival did not cause much movement, and no one from the alien race appeared, and he took Tong Tong into the carry-on space. In the portable space, millions of spiritual stones have piled up into mountains. This time, although he was ambushed by the aliens, Lin Feng didn't have much to lose. The only thing is that I came to this unfamiliar place from the Su City area. Lin Feng felt that this area must still be in the east. It just depends on what area it is in. To him, it didn't matter. Because there are already enough resources in the space. The big deal is to hide here and cultivate to the king level before going out. Anyway, his portable space is a small world with everything. Then, Lin Feng is really hiding here. You can't upgrade to level 4 space yet. After hiding, Lin Feng looked at the space upgrade requirements and found that he couldn't upgrade to level 4. Level 4 space requires 1 million low-level spiritual stones, 10,000 intermediate-level spiritual stones, and 100 high-level spiritual stones. Ling Shi's request, Lin Feng has already met. But upgrading to level 4 requires Lin Feng's strength to officially reach level 9. His sword intent, although already able to threaten the 8th Order. Combined with First Sight, killing the 8th Order is not a problem. But there is still a certain distance from the 9th Order. Can't upgrade to level 4 space, but it's not in a hurry. First develop for a while, digest the harvest of this period of time. Then, Lin Feng hid here and grew up. Meow. In space, it is not dull at all. With Tongtong Xiaoxue as his company. There are also Tao by Hikiangwei and the others who often come to accompany Lin Feng. Their transformed bodies are still composed of energy, not flesh and blood. However, they are also evolving in this direction. Lin Feng used the automatic construction of the space to complete the construction after the space became larger. The entire space is covered with spiritual soil. From the cracks in the space, all the spiritual plants obtained were also planted. So, Lin Feng has been developing silently for nearly a month in the portable space. Finally reached the peak of the transformation level. After this month has passed, Lin Feng's sword intent has reached the peak of the transformation level. In this, Tao Yao's re-engraving of the sword light of the superpower played a great role. She re-engraved the sword light of the superpower to a level that is just a line stronger than Lin Feng. Lin Feng and his constant training have made extraordinary progress. The pinnacle of transformation. Lin Feng felt that after his sword intent reached the peak of the transformation level, if he pushed back according to his sword intent, he would be able to create another sword technique. As long as the creation is successful, Lin Feng's strength will be greatly improved again. Lin Feng tried silently. After trying for some time, Lin Feng stood up. Have to find some opponents to try the sword. Lin Feng thought. After the breakthrough of sword intent, there is no actual combat, and it always feels light, and it has not been implemented. Therefore, even if the epiphany is triggered, it is a bit difficult to create another sword technique. Come on, Tong Tong, let's go out and do some activities. Lin Feng said. Meow. Tong Tong rubbed against Lin Feng. Tong Tong's progress is naturally exceptional. Now she, in terms of strength, is probably quite terrifying. The same is true of Xiaoxue. There is a feeling of catching up. Tao Ao and the others, don't look at their tenderness, but their fighting power is not weak, but Lin Feng has never let them out to fight. There is also Huo Wu, who is also clamoring all day to go out and burn Lin Feng's enemies. Then, Lin Feng also brought Huo Wu out. It's not fun, it's not fun. In addition to being bigger, there is too little spiritual energy. However, as soon as Huo Wu came out, it didn't feel fun anymore. It's still fun in Lin Feng's space. She has never come out, her freshness has not yet passed, and she has stayed. Lin Feng took them and shuttled through the jungle. Also take a look at what this place is. Ferocious beast. Not long after, Lin Feng saw some beasts. There are a lot of these beasts, hundreds of them. Lin Feng, who had not been active for a long time, couldn't bear it any longer and rushed out, using his fingers as a sword, and swung it quickly. Soon, hundreds of beasts were all beheaded. Not addicting, Lin Feng thought. He continued to turn. From time to time, you can encounter some beasts or mutant insects, but they were all killed easily by Lin Feng. Meow. 5. At this time, Tong Tong pointed to the sky. Lin Feng took a look and saw several lights flying past in the sky. Alien. Lin Feng became interested and followed quietly. Now his strength has soared, and he still has Tao Yao's re-engraved sword light, which can threaten the king-level sword light, and naturally, he will not be intimidated when he sees aliens. Not long after, he followed into a valley. There, many aliens are flying over from all directions. These aliens are somewhat different from the aliens faced by the Sioux City area. They have 3 eyes on their foreheads. Alien with 3 eyes. But these 3 eyes are not like Erlangshan before Lin Feng's time travel. There is 1 eye on his forehead. Instead, the 3 eyes are almost side by side, with the middle eye slightly higher, above the bridge of the nose. It looks kind of weird. The number of them is more than 30. At this time, these aliens surrounded the middle, where a human woman holding a long sword was surrounded. The woman's face looked a little red, and her eyes were a little blurry. The sword in her hand emits a sword light from time to time, forcing the aliens who are trying to get close. However, she doesn't seem to have much power left, and the power of the sword light is already insufficient. Don't struggle. Even if you are a king, you have to obey our strange poison. I haven't tasted the taste of a human king-level woman, haha. This time I'm going to have an interracial exchange. This woman has killed too many of us, she must be killed. Don't worry, everyone line up. Before King Dingan arrives, we have to hurry up, otherwise we will have nothing to do. The 30 or so three-eyed aliens laughed loudly, looking at the human woman, already a kind of cat and mouse flavor. 23 seventh orders, 11 eighth orders, and 1 ninth order. In the woods, Lin Feng quickly judged the strength of these aliens. Of these 30 or so aliens, none of them are below the 7th rank. There is also a 9th level. With the sword intent at the peak of the transformation level, there is no problem in killing the 8th level. As for this 9th level, let's try the sword. 35. Lin Feng quickly made a decision. These opponents are just right. From the crack in the space to the present, his sword intent has broken through twice, from the middle stage of transformation to the peak of transformation level. It hasn't been put into practice yet. Exactly, take these aliens to try the sword. Tong Tong, Xiao Xue, you solved the 7th order. Lin Feng arranged. Master and me. Huo Wu was afraid that she would be forgotten by Lin Feng, so she said quickly, okay, you can join too. Don't kill the 8th and 9th tiers. Lin Feng said. For those of the 8th and 9th tiers, Lin Feng should keep the sword for the test. Leave it to me, master. Huo Wu was overjoyed. Tong Tong and Xiao Xue sneaked there silently. Huo Wu turned into a small flame, attached to Tong Tong. Tong Tong's latent ability is too strong. Soon, they sneaked near those aliens. At this time, the king-level woman who was included by the aliens was almost dying. These three-eyed aliens looked at her with shining eyes, treating her as a fragrant dinner, and wantonly humiliated her with words. Go! Lin Feng suddenly turned into a lightning bolt and rushed out. With a slash of the sword in his hand, an 8th order alien has not yet reacted. It was cut in half by Lin Feng's sword. Meow! Tong Tong and Xiao Xue rushed out at the same time, pounced on the 7th order alien. As soon as Tong Tong's claws moved, a thunderbolt slashed a 7th order alien to black. At the same time, she had already jumped in front of a 7th order alien with a small paw. The 7th order alien was directly slapped on the head by Tong Tong's paw. Under the influence of Tong Tong, Xiao Xue also likes melee combat. Her claws are also exceptionally sharp. As soon as the claws go down, a 7th order alien is killed. During the month in the space crack, their growth was not small. During the month that Lin Feng hid and developed, they grew even more. Now killed a 7th rank, just like cutting a melon. Burn you bastards! Huo Wu's flame soared and suddenly surrounded several 7th order aliens, burning frantically. Then I saw that the few 7th order aliens were burned to ashes by Huo Wu before they could react. At this time, other alien talents reacted. There are enemies. Kill them. These three-eyed aliens were killed one after another. Their third eye also instantly sent out a ray attack. But Tong Tong and Xiaoxue are too flexible. Their attacks were useless at all, and the weapons in their hands could not attack Tong Tong and Xiaoxue. As for Hu Wu, she is a flame, even more useless. In a short period of time, most of the seventh-order aliens were killed by the three of them. On Lin Feng's side, the progress is also not slow, and the sword in his hand is constantly waving. The sword intent of the peak transformation level was too sharp, and in the blink of an eye, several 8th-level aliens were killed. The 9th-rank alien had also reacted and attacked Lin Feng. Lin Feng took out a lotus petal, stimulated the defense, and swam quickly at the same time. Avoided the attack of the 9th-order alien. He was going to deal with the 8th-order aliens first. His body is too strong, and his reaction is not much weaker than Tong Tong's. In the blink of an eye, several Tier 8s were killed again. 11 of the 8th rank, only 2 were killed by Lin Feng. Lin Feng killed with great joy this time, and slashed again with his sword. The remaining 2 8th orders were killed again. The 9th order alien saw that Lin Feng was so fierce, and instead of retreating, he advanced and killed him with a sword in his hand. Seeing this 9th order alien kill, Lin Feng took a deep breath. This is his first time fighting the 9th order. He clenched the sword in his hand. The sword intent drive of the peak of the transformation level. In Lin Feng's eyes, killing intent was boiling. 1 second. The sword light of the 9th order aliens has also struck. The sword intent collided with the sword light. He saw that as soon as the sword light dimmed, it was smashed by Lin Feng's peak transformation level. The sword in the hand of the 9th order alien waved quickly, finally blocking Lin Feng's sword intent. But Lin Feng's sword swung again. Bring it on. The sword intent at the peak of the transformation level launched a fierce attack. He hadn't fought so happily in a long time. Although in the cracks in space, from time to time, I will learn from those geniuses, and even some 8th order subordinates of City Lord Su. But learning from each other is not as enjoyable as the real battle. You can play to your heart's content. The 9th rank alien was captured by Lin Feng's aura, but he also perfectly played the role of a sparring tool. He used various means and finally blocked Lin Feng's sword intent. But it's getting worse. Die. After slashing dozens of swords in a row, Lin Feng gathered his momentum and slashed again. Swordsmanship. The dazzling sword light became the last light seen in the eyes of the 9th order alien race. The 9th order alien attack was instantly shattered, and the sword in his hand was also shattered instantly. The next second, his body burst open. The first sight became the last sight. This 9th rank alien died under the terrifying peak sword intent. When sword intent reaches the peak of Hua level, it is indeed extremely terrifying. Of course, it has something to do with this guy being brought into the rhythm by Lin Feng. Lin Feng sword after sword, this guy has no rhythm at all, otherwise, this battle may not be so easy for Lin Feng. Meow. Tong Tong rubbed against Lin Feng. Master, how is my performance? Fire dance sounded. More than 30 aliens have been killed. Looking at the 30 or so aliens who were killed so quickly, Lin Feng couldn't help feeling a little unreal. It has only been more than 2 months since the genius battle in the space crack. At that time, Lin Feng killed the 7th order like slaughtering a dog. Now, there are more than 30, good money, rank 7 and above, as well as more than a dozen ranks 8 and 2 ranks 9th, in front of Lin Feng and Tong Tong, and they don't have much area with tofu. Is my strength so strong? Lin Feng couldn't help thinking. Quick, leave, here comes their king. At this time, a weak voice sounded. Lin Feng saw that it was the king-level woman. Are you okay? Lin Feng walked over. The Wang-level woman's body was very hot, and when Lin Feng touched her, she had a feeling of being paralyzed. Get out of here first. A king is coming. Although Lin Feng had petals given by Taoyao, the ghost knew that several kings would come. Lin Feng is not ready to confront Wang level head-on for the time being. The strength is still not enough. Although this time killed a 9th order, there are many factors in it. Changing to a 9th rank may not be so easy to kill. Tong Tong, you all go in. 35. So, Lin Feng let Tong Tong and the others enter the space. Then, he picked up the woman and quickly flew in one direction. After flying a lot of distance, Lin Feng did not notice the arrival of the pursuers. Just as I was about to open my personal space, I hid it for a while and immediately thought that my space was too special to be exposed. Enter my space. 35. The king-level woman only had the last bit of strength left. She opened the entrance to the space, and Lin Feng carried her and walked in to lift it. The king-level woman closed the space. The space is not small, with some plants and a beautifully arranged pavilion. Save me. 9. The king-level woman said. She was very hot. How to help? Lin Feng asked. He was about to check the situation of the king-level woman, but the next second, his mouth was blocked by the king-level woman's mouth. Then,